about the rape gang. them with sheltered, innocent girls that they're banned from social media. There's a new social media ban in England, so that they don't even know what's happening in the world. And you just don't expect the animal instincts to take over from these fucking sand barbarians that they're putting in the same enclosures as these people.
Authorities are aware of this?
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably aware that
And then they go to their local mosque, and the local imam explains to them how actually subjugating and raping white women is your right as a Muslim. All right, it is they are infidels, actually. All right, and you really just be, it's just another culture. Well, they're lucky to be able to experience another culture so firsthand.
Edge of the City programme focused on young girls like yourself who've been targeted by Asians to be groomed in this particular area. Do you think that was an accurate description of what is happening?
Yes.
Have you contacted the police regarding them threatening to rape you?
Yeah.
And what's the police response has been?
They said that they're going to look into it.
They're going to look into it, guys.
Yeah.
What's your teacher's response been?
The pupils are going to get excluded for 15 school days.
Oh, they're going to be suspended for 2 weeks. That's nice.
Right, and that is it.
Yeah.
There's also the accusation that young Asian males are hanging outside schools in flash cars, basically intimidating young girls like yourself with threats. Is that the case?
Yeah.
And this is happening, what, once a week, twice a week?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
And the authorities know it's happening, but they're not doing anything about it? And how do you feel when you're targeted by these people?
I feel intimidated by them and scared.
Can you imagine an entire culture that has... Listen, man, Western civilization made a lot of progress since the Dark Ages. These guys didn't get to the fucking Dark Ages yet. Understand. 13-year-old girl talks about how scary it is. This is fucking insane. Why are little girls in Britain living like this? This is unreal. Judge granted Jamaican pedophile the right to enter Britain as barring breaches human rights. What about our human rights? It's absolute insanity. And y'all fucking know who the judge was, by the way. All right, we know who the judge was. You know, it was a liberal white woman that was fighting against injustice or something, and then they did this. And then they did this to you. All right, Elon Musk says the report is the tip of the enormous iceberg of evil. And the truth is, big announcement from Asmongold. He said he would stream the entire UK rape gang report. He apparently just did this. Now, the truth of the matter is, it's citizen journalists that are saving the world. All right, every single person, every single retard that's sitting there and preaching for women's rights and stuff like that, my misogynistic ass that says that a woman actually would be best off if she was married to a husband that loves her and wants to take care of her and has a lot of children, I am the one actually defending women's rights. You know, the right to not get raped by a barbarian in preschool. Asmongold, the guy that everyone's shitting on for saying that women are going to be out of jobs when AI takes over or whatever. He's the one that's fighting for women. Not any of these leftists that are literally covering this up. Not any of these feminists that are afraid to be called racist. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. It's the most dystopian thing in the world. It really is. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games. Complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. I've been enjoying playing Call to Dragons on Free Cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now, back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
Hello, dear European and American patriots. Tomorrow, I may be sentenced to
Dude, it's a nightmare. Wait, actually, I'm going to show this to you in a few minutes, just so you have context. But you have to understand the response that the rape gang inquiry was getting from people. Because the response should radicalize the fuck out of you. It really should.
County lines are phone lines, not border demarcations. You can't traffic people over them. The rape...
And it's many such cases.
Rape gang inquiry report is junk. All right, so
Hybrids
this video
absolute
has 4
woo.
million views.
The rape gang inquiry report
4 million views, 600 likes.
is out.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
How the fuck could you even have that reaction?
I started
Again,
to
in the
do
rape
when I
gang
was
inquiry,
just-
which I covered briefly before,
I'm gonna
you know,
kinda
some of the
speed run
more
it.
viral excerpts. It's Pakistani Muslims, like 4 of them,
best I can.
taking a Jack Daniels bottle and shattering it inside of the vagina of a 13-year-old girl as they rape her from every angle. Okay, I don't think you can
Hybrids
possibly
absolute. How
understand
was your
the
father
levels of
dick?
brutality that was seen. It is women getting their tongues
was
nailed
alright.
down to wooden boards
I
while
didn't really
they
do
get
anything.
branded
I'm not a
M for
father.
Mohammed
My
as
father
they get
passed
raped
away.
over the course of years. Right? I don't think you understand the level of depravity we're witnessing.
Well,
So when you
I
see
really
a left
Hybrids
doing
absolute.
this,
You muted.
this
I
is a
don't
woke
hear you.
Jewish lady for sure,
Am
by
I
the way.
muted?
All right, listen, I'm allowed to be a little anti-Semitic over here, but again, you
I don't
have to
know. I don't
understand
think
what
I'm
we're
muted,
dealing
am
with. Mrs. Libtard, believe all
Why is
victims
my-
over here, giggling as her response to 250,000
why.
girls getting raped.
And I'm gonna try not to laugh because it feels
How do you
mean.
fucking say this?
What the fuck?
I haven't read the whole
Can you
thing.
hear me?
It's 219 pages. It's only just come out a couple
Yep.
of hours ago. They also haven't done their research either. Because on page 11, for example,
It's-
Okay.
we
according
find
to
the
this,
following. In each of these areas, the same tactics were trafficked across county lines. County lines are phone lines, and you don't even have to do a lot of digging to find
I
that
don't-
out, right? Literally, all you have to do is Google
I don't
what is
know
a
why
county
you
line,
can't
and it
hear
will
me.
tell
Can
you.
you hear anything?
250,000 girls were raped by Pakistani Muslims, but actually they weren't trafficked to Pakistan, so it's not so bad.
That county lines are the way that urban drug dealers get their drugs out into more rural areas. They have phone lines that people can call. Those are county lines. So you cannot traffic somebody over a county line unless you're trafficking them over a phone line.
Well, they're talking about being trafficked from
Angry
like,
Logan,
one
can you
area
hear
to another
anything?
area,
Yeah.
right? That's obviously what's being
You have a
discussed.
problem with the term? They're literally taking girls and shipping them around the country. Some of them actually were shipped out of the country.
That's
I don't
what's
know
being
what's going
said.
on.
Which I guess is technically possible if you're also selling
Yeah.
them on a phone line or via that phone. So if they haven't understood the basics of how the drug network works in this country, then they have absolutely no hope of understanding grooming gangs, because grooming gangs are criminal cartel enterprises. That
Yeah.
is the
Cartels.
grooming gang, right? It's a criminal gang. None of that, I'm going to assume, from that
I
line
don't
in
know
the
what's
Rape
going
Gang
on.
Inquiry
Hang
Report
on.
has made it into the Rape Gang Inquiry Report. Because if it had,
They didn't even read it!
they would know that county lines are phone lines and not county demarcation
You can't hear
lines,
anything?
and therefore you don't get trafficked across.
Hybrids absolute. Sorry, I was away. What?
I'm going to leave this video here.
Can you hear
because
anything?
I will start banging my head against the desk. But I hope this gives you some idea of how little research these guys have done. They've also put a whole load of stuff
Hybrids
in there
absolute,
about
yeah, I hear you.
Muslims and how awful the
Okay.
Muslims are. In real
You know, it's because
Alright,
Muslims are raping
I-
250,000 British girls. That,
You
that
said I
probably
was
is
muted,
what signified it,
and-
yeah.
really, really vague terms.
None of my
Everywhere
sound
that
said
there
it
are
was,
Muslims,
so-
you get these problems. Well,
Yeah. Yeah, that happens everywhere, actually.
But, yeah, I was
not
Hybrids
kinda-
absolute.
remotely
It's just
controversial to
muffled,
say.
kinda.
It's controversial because people are
I don't
retarded
know why.
and don't like truth. But it's true. It's literally true.
there are 2 billion Muslims on the planet.
Yeah, and thank God most of
I
them are
think I
not
might
here.
need a
Thank
new
God most of them are
microphone.
in whatever the fuck retard world they're in. All right, listen, man. What do you want me to say?
Well, I was
Anything
fucking
you
around
want,
with
but
the
anyway, that's a
OBS.
story for another day. See you later.
Dude, the United
Earlier
Arab
today,
Emirates has
so-
placed a ban on Muslims
I might
going
have
from
fucked with
England
something.
to the UAE because they say that the Muslims that are in England
I
are
was
too
setting
radical.
up a new
Are you
background.
retarded?
Later.
Well, yeah, you're right.
For
It's
my
because in the Muslim
commentary.
countries they'd just be killed. That's the
That's right. Because under Sharia law, you sleep with
You wanna
a
see
woman
it?
that you're not married to, you get 100 lashes in public. All right, and that could kill you. All right, that could actually kill you. 100 lashes is not a joke. And you know that happens.
This is what the new commentary channel is going to look like. My commentary streams. And it's actually so I can actually okay, yeah, this is my commentary screen. This is what I'm going to be doing for my commentary. Let me go back to my regular streaming one.
The police to report her daughter missing and mentioned a history of abuse by Asian men. The call handler told her, "You can't describe them as Asian men because that's racist. You should just be glad your child is being taught into a different culture." On one occasion, a police officer returned Fiona
Hybrids
to the house
absolute.
where
Your
the
audio
abuse was
setting in the
occurring,
other
and
scene
they
is
told
fucked
the men
up.
to have fun with her. Even UK Reddit covered this
In
more
the-
than
in
mainstream
the-
media. It's a hard
the new
read,
one or the old one?
unfathomable. I think you read this, you actually read what's being allowed to happen to avoid bad optics. I'm disgusted in this country. It'll be interesting watching people put more effort into debunking this video than actually solving the problem. Absolutely horrific.
True, that's what you see everywhere.
I don't know why.
By the way, Piers Morgan said the same thing. Piers Morgan said the same exact thing. Actual monkeys in suits, these people. It's insane. Many thousands of
Hybrids absolute. The scene is quiet. The other commentary one is louder.
Oh, this one's quiet? I could turn this one up louder. That's as loud as it'll go. Does it sound better?
Perpetrators and their families who stood by them need deporting. I am... Even Reddit, dude. Even Reddit.
I don't know what's up, man. This is the best it's gonna be.
Mainstream media, they're still covering it up. I don't want to laugh because it'll come off as too mean. My reaction when 250,000 white girls get raped by Muslims. These are monsters, demons. Demons that have learned human speech, but yet can never properly be one of us.
Doesn't look like anyone's been here.
Actually,
smell.
go to the other hardware
This
floor.
officer is unknowingly reacting to the decomposition odor coming from Craig Thetford's hidden body. Police have been searching for him for months with no success, and even now, with the foul odor in the air, they still have no idea he's buried only feet away.
Is that dirt? Or is that blood?
This is the only way I've been able to have any communication with you. And I don't even know if it's him.
I wouldn't even know where to start looking.
There's some weird going on.
Whoever killed Craig covered their tracks meticulously, using chemicals to mask the odor, disabling security cameras, and hiding in plain sight. And while detectives spend months trying to figure out where Craig went, the suspected killer quietly continues spending Craig's money, allegedly buying houses, cars, and crafting a plan to ensure they are never found.
Holy smokes.
Well, I want to say something else, but I don't want to implicate her.
You need to say it.
You might start looking in the Caribbean.
Police department! Sheriff's office, snatch your soul!
It's a late May evening in Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Tucked among wooded acreage and mountain terrain sits a 2,000 square foot property owned by 60-year-old Craig Thetford. He lives inside this large 3-story house with his wife, Dina. The Thetfords enjoy a comfortable lifestyle thanks to Craig's roofing business. They own multiple residential properties and frequently take luxury vacations. But a few months ago, something dark took place inside the Thetford household, and it went unnoticed for weeks, until May 2025, when the Otero County Sheriff's Office receives a disturbing call.
Communications on a recorded line. How can I help you?
Who would I talk to have a wellness check done on an individual?
That would be me. What's going on?
His name is Craig Thetford. Everybody here in Texas has been trying to get a hold of Craig for nearly 2 months.
Okay.
We can't get a hold of his wife. We're really concerned about him because this is not like him. He always answers his phone and calls back. Even his family here hasn't been able to get a hold of him. Nobody can get a hold of him.
On the line is Larry Scott, requesting a welfare check on his friend. But something about this call is different. As Larry explains, nobody has seen Craig or his wife for months. A detail that's highly unusual since most missing person reports come within days. Following this, officers are dispatched to the address to conduct a welfare check on the Thetford couple. Once they pull up to the long driveway and step out into the mountain air, they can sense something is off about this place.
Sheriff's office.
Can you see anything through the windows?
Yeah, I got a pretty good look through the windows. Doesn't look like there's anyone in there.
As officers walk around the residence, they notice the sheer size of the property, with multiple carports and outbuildings. Lights are on throughout the home itself, but strangely, no one answers the door. Looking through the windows, one officer notices several boxes stacked, suggesting that the couple might be in the process of moving or had already left. As another officer circles towards the carport, he hesitates. There's something odd about the air around him.
We got a pretty decent security camera on the back.
Doesn't look like anyone's been here. What's that smell?
Coming from the carport, a faint, strange odor drifts through the space. But up in the mountains, with wildlife and wooded terrain, unusual smells aren't uncommon, so the officer brushes it off and moves on. With the home appearing vacant and no immediate signs of foul play, cops call it off and leave with the impression that the Thetford couple likely moved out and simply forgot to inform their friend Larry. Unknowingly, officers are walking away from the first signs that something far more sinister is at play. The next day, things begin to shift into something more serious as police receive a second call about Craig. However, this one carries more concerning details than the last.
Telecommunications on a recorded line. How can I help you?
Okay, this is gonna seem really, really strange. About 4 months ago, my grandpa had went off the face of the world, and he's a volunteer firefighter up there. He loves to do it. He talks to me about it all the time. And so I'd like to place a wellness check, but the only person that said she's talked to him in 4 months is his wife, and apparently now they're getting a divorce. He's doing a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't believe it. It's not my grandpa. It's just really strange.
What's his name?
Greg Thetford.
And what's your name?
My name is Cody Gibson. I'm his grandson. His wife is supposedly in Texas getting a divorce.
With yet another welfare check request from Craig's grandson Cody, a clearer timeline begins to form. It now sounds like Craig hasn't been missing for 2 months as previously believed by his friend. Instead, he hasn't been seen for over 4 months, which is even more alarming. Additionally, the reason no formal missing person report was filed starts to make sense, as Cody goes on to explain that his grandfather's wife, Dina Thetford, has been telling everyone that Craig is in Mexico with another woman after filing for divorce. A story that doesn't sit right with Craig's grandson. Following this second call, Otero County Sheriff's deputies are dispatched back to Craig's house. This time, instead of simply knocking and leaving, they widen the scope. If Craig and his wife aren't inside the house, maybe someone nearby has seen or heard something. So deputies begin canvassing the surrounding properties, a decision that will quietly kickstart an investigation into what may become one of the most elaborate and twisted homicide cover-ups they've ever handled.
Deputy Pintor with the Sheriff's Office. By chance, have you seen your neighbors over?
No, sir, I haven't. I've been really worried about him
Okay.
since January. And we were real good friends and everything.
Okay.
And we were both on the James Canyon Fire Department. And then come January, there was just no contact.
No contact at all. Come January.
I got him. I was on the James Canyon Fire Department there for about 5.5 years. And when he moved up here, I talked him into it. And we were real good friends and everything.
Yeah.
And then Josh over here, we got him on the fire department. Josh and Heidi here would know more information about them.
Okay.
I know.
Do you know what the address is over there?
It's that A-frame right there.
This one right here?
This one right here.
Yes, ma'am. How are you? I'm Deputy Pintor with the Otero County Sheriff's Office. We were looking for Craig Setford.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Craig.
Okay.
We're buying the house from him. He was in Breckenridge taking care of his mom. His wife Dina is my friend. She's in and out from the house down there.
Okay.
She hasn't really talked to me either, which is weird.
Have you talked to Dina lately? Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you asked her anything about like Craig, how he's doing or anything like that?
From what she's telling me, she's not talking to him either.
She's oh, okay.
Yeah.
So are they like not together right now?
I think they're splitting up.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So that's what's happening.
And when was the last time you saw Dina here in the area?
It's probably been about 3 weeks now.
About 3 weeks.
As far as Heidi knows, Craig and Dina are in the middle of separating, with Craig supposedly staying at his mother's house in Texas. That explanation doesn't match what Dina told Craig's grandson Cody, who was under the impression that his grandfather went to Mexico after filing for divorce. To investigate further, the deputy asks Heidi for Dina's phone number and tries calling her. But worryingly, it goes straight to voicemail. With no immediate leads, officers return to the station. Before Deputy Pinter can relay his findings to detectives, his phone starts ringing. Interestingly, the caller is one of the Thetfords.
Hello?
Hi, I missed a phone call.
Yes, ma'am. How are you? This is Deputy Pinter calling from the Otero County Sheriff's Office. I was calling in reference to your husband, Craig. It seems that he hasn't been in contact with a lot of his family and some of his friends.
Right, yeah. We have been separated, and I recently filed for divorce. He's involved with someone else, and currently he's in Mexico.
And when was the last time you saw him or spoke to him?
Before he left.
Would you have an estimate, like, was it like 1 week, 2 weeks?
First of the month?
First of the month. And you saw him in person, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
he was packing, yes.
Where was this at? Was this at your residence on Heatherway?
Yes, he has moved out.
And where are you currently staying at?
I'm at my mom's in Texas, Seymour, Texas.
Yeah. Well, I guess let me ask you, are you gonna permanently be staying at Seymour, Texas? No? Okay.
Until I see what happens in the divorce, I'm gonna ask for the property.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think he's missing.
On the line is Dina Thetford, clarifying that her husband is actually in Mexico with another woman. The same story she told Craig's grandson, different from what her neighbor reported. Naturally, this drastically complicates the investigation, as locating a missing person in another country is exponentially more difficult. But during the phone call, Dina also goes on to explain that she suspected Craig of cheating on her for nearly a year before confirming the affair a couple of months earlier. Now she's staying with her mother in Texas, but plans to return to New Mexico and fight Craig in court to keep the property for herself. The deputy confirms Dina's current phone number before ending the call. Aside from the inconsistent story about Craig's whereabouts, police have no reason to believe Dina is hiding anything. But that is about to change.
I tried to warn Craig. She did state if I could kill Craig and get away with it, I'd do it.
My mom's crazy. Like, she's tried to kill me before.
In the days that follow, Craig Thetford is officially entered into the FBI database as a missing person, and the case is assigned to Detective Bobby Curtis with the district's Major Crimes Unit. As Curtis begins digging into the couple's background, one detail immediately stands out. Craig is Dina's fourth husband. She had already been married 3 times before, and those relationships seemingly ended under troubling circumstances. So Curtis decides to call the people who might know Dina best, her ex-husbands. And what she's about to hear may not just explain where Craig is, but also what really happened to him.
I got a voicemail from you about an hour ago, I guess.
I was calling to see if you had a minute to talk to me about Dina.
I was married to her 30 years ago. I called her demon-possessed one time and about drove her crazy.
I was told there was possibly a time when she had tried to run you over with her car.
I would probably say that's more her drug-addicted or alcohol-addicted state that she gets that way. And that's the best time to leave her alone is when she's that way. I think that's how we both survived for 10 years. Hello?
Hi, is this Scotty?
Yes.
Hi, it's Detective Curtis. First, start with why did you guys end up getting a divorce?
Because she's crazy. She is what they classify as
Hybrids Absolute, have you seen the game Scritchy Scratchy?
No, what's it about?
Broke 2 pair of glasses, balled up her fist and hit me. Twice she tried to kill me. You know, I was always afraid something like
I
this
was
was gonna
watching
happen 'cause I knew she was
shorts of a hide and seek game that I was kind of interested in trying to play.
You know, I tried to warn Craig multiple times, and she did state in front of me and my wife, if I could kill Craig and get away with it, I'd do it.
Hybrids Absolute, I know that game you paint
final
yourself.
remark from
Yeah.
Scott is disturbing
I
and
was
certainly
kind
doesn't
of
bode
digging
well
that.
for the
I was
situation.
wondering what that game was all
Following
about.
these statements from Dina's ex-husbands, Detective Curtis decides to dig further into Scott's claims. Turns out, Dina worked as a correctional officer for nearly 8 years in the early 2000s. Then, in 2008, according to Scott, Dina was arrested for allegedly trying to stab him while intoxicated, an incident that reportedly landed her in jail overnight. After that, the couple briefly reconciled, but in 2010, Scott also alleged that Dina found his pistol and chased him while pulling the trigger, though the gun was not loaded and he survived. As Curtis continues reviewing the reports, she notices that at various points over the years, Dina's daughter Leslie had lived with her and Craig. So one of Curtis's co-investigators reaches out to Leslie to gain insights into what was happening inside that house. When he finally gets her on the phone, she shares some startling information about her mother.
How are you this morning?
Good, Candy. How are you?
I'm good. So, whenever you were living at the house, Leslie, was there domestic violence going on in the house? Did your mom and dad fight?
Yeah, all the time. My
Hybrids
mom's
Absolute,
crazy.
anything
My
good for
mom's so
dinner?
crazy. Like, she's tried to kill me.
I'm making ramen.
She stabbed one of her other husbands. She tried to run my real dad over with a car. She had my sister hogtied and thrown in a car and, like, shipped off one time.
So, was your mom to you?
Yep, to everyone, pretty much. I always thought she was, like, possessed, like, demonic. Like, it was so evil that, like, I just couldn't even believe, like, it was real.
Okay. At the time that you were there at the house, did your mom and dad drink or use drugs? Either one of them?
Yeah, she's an alcoholic. She's always been. She also does other drugs, and I think she might have poisoned him or been trying to poison him or something, or messing with his medication or something.
Needless to say, things are starting to sound grim. There are now 2 separate people alleging that Craig may be dead and that Dina could somehow be involved. With this troubling development in mind, Detective Curtis moves on to review the couple's recent financial activity, and this is where things become very peculiar. In the last 4 months, Dina appears to have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, including a new house and a new car, while also potentially helping fund her son's new business. With all these findings combined and Dina's shifting story, investigators begin to suspect they may be dealing with something far more serious than a missing person case, and the possibility of a concealed homicide now sits squarely on the table. But in the middle of trying to piece together what really happened to Craig, detectives receive a tip that his wife Dina has returned home and is acting as if nothing ever happened.
Somebody's home.
Following this, Deputy Roger Schoolcraft is sent to check if Dina returned home and can provide any answers. In a few seconds, he will come face to face with the one person investigators now believe may be their prime suspect. But before we get to that, if you're like me, you probably want to save money and have your money actually work for you, without overcomplicating things or constantly thinking about it. That's where our video's sponsor, Chime, comes in. Chime is the most loved banking app that makes savings simple, especially with their high-yield savings account. The national average savings rate is 0.39% APY, which is basically nothing. But with Chime's high-yield savings account, you earn up to 3%, about 7 times the national average. To put that into perspective, if you had $5,000 in a regular savings account, you'd earn about $20 in a year. But with Chime's savings account, that's closer to $150 in a year. Real money that can actually go towards something you want. Chime also makes saving easy to automate. You can send part of your paycheck straight to your savings, or you can turn on roundups so spare change from everyday purchases goes straight into your account without you having to think about it. There are no monthly fees or minimum balance requirements, so more of your money stays yours. And unlike some savings accounts, your money isn't locked up. You can access it anytime. Right now, Chime is offering up to a $350 bonus, yes, up to $350 when you open a new Chime account through my link, chime.com/insanity, or just click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on screen. With that said, let's get back to Deputy Roger, who's on the verge of hearing a story that may explain why Craig truly vanished.
Hi, good morning. Dina?
Yes.
Hi. Good morning, good morning. Hey, I'm doing some I'm Roger, I'm sorry. Roger Squirpa.
Nice.
Dina?
Yes, I think we met at a football game.
Probably did. I'm trying to do some follow-up on Craig. And I thought maybe I could meet with you and maybe you could try to kind of help me and give me some information. And can we sit somewhere? Or? All right. Kind of chilly.
No.
Okay, well, obviously we got some calls because people haven't been hearing from her or anything, so you being the wife, you might be able to help me.
Right, it's his mom. I talked to his mom.
Oh, really? So you guys aren't?
No, we have been having some issues.
Okay.
I guess you would say we're separated.
How long's that been going on?
Nothing's legal yet. We just haven't been spending any time together since at least February.
February. Early February, late February?
Late February, or mid-February.
Since mid-February. Things weren't working out, so you left, he left, how did that?
He left. He told me, well, he first went to Texas because he said he needed to go help his mom.
So he left here to go help his mom?
That was what he said, yes. I've never really had any reason not to not believe what he said.
And that was like the second week of February?
You'll have to bear with me because I don't keep track of time.
Even though Dina doesn't keep track of time, she does seem to keep track of other things, like the details surrounding Craig's disappearance. Within just a few minutes of their conversation, Deputy Roger notices that Dina slightly adjusts her explanation about Craig's whereabouts, now claiming that he simply told her what he was doing, and she had no reason not to believe him. But as the pair continue rehashing the details, Dina begins to visibly sense that Deputy Roger isn't convinced. She appears to have no idea of the amount of suspicion that's been mounting against her. In reality, Dina is well prepared for this moment because she's about to present what she believes is concrete proof to validate her story and put an end to the growing suspicion around her.
I've never had a reason to doubt it, but now I do. I mean, I think that he has hooked up with some youngsters that are doing these classes, and I think he's reliving his youth, and he's ready for me to get out of the picture.
But where would he be doing that at?
Mexico, I guess. Mexico. But when I would come home, I mean, he's been here. It got to the point where he would just leave me a note, like that one over there. Now there's been several. This is our communication right here for the last 2 months.
Okay.
And there's been several, but this is now this one is from not like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and you place, this is your handwriting and that's his?
Yes, because his family's been calling me, where is he? You know, and I'm like, I know as much as you do.
Where's El Salto?
Mexico.
And he has friends in El Salto, or he went?
El Salto is a trophy bass fisher.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm a big bass fisherman too.
Yeah, I think this would make like the 3rd time he's been there.
Even if Deputy Roger tried, he couldn't sound fully convinced that Craig actually wrote this message. But he takes the bait anyway, or at least allows Dina to believe her plan is unfolding exactly as she intended. Conveniently, Dina quickly moves on to the next step in her plan. There's something downstairs that might help clear things up, and she's willing to share it off the record.
Can I say something off the record?
Sure.
Craig keeps all our money in cash. I can't get in the safe, so I can't tell you if he took it or if it's there.
All the money?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you get into the safe?
I don't have the combinations.
Was that an issue between the two of you? They wouldn't let you have access to the safe?
It wasn't an issue with us, but it was an issue with his first wife.
Well, she was stealing money from him or what? Okay, I understand now. And how much?
1.5 million.
Could you show me where that safe is?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a substantial amount of money by anyone's standards, and Deputy Roger is beginning to suspect he may already know why Craig suddenly vanished. Even though Dina claims she can't access the safe, Roger will soon discover that this, too, might not be true. But since Dina brought up the money unprompted, Roger recognizes an opportunity to dig deeper and decides to take it.
I'm sorry.
You got me?
I've got a bad knee. I'm apologizing.
Well, we could do
No, that's
the
good.
ground weight.
No, I'm just getting old.
I feel you.
Holy smokes. Big house.
Yeah, it is.
Too big for two people.
It's way too big.
This is the bottom floor here? Or?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, that's cool.
Right?
Huh. Yeah, good Lord. That cost a penny.
Yeah, that was my present, and now I don't know if I get to keep it.
Yeah.
This one and this one.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah.
So you don't have the combination for either safe?
No. No, I just.
You didn't keep it written down anywhere, or you don't know? Okay.
As Roger checks the safe, he has no idea that he is standing in the very spot where Craig's body remained for days, before it was eventually moved and hidden. None of that is apparent in this moment, so the two head back upstairs after taking a quick look. By this point, Roger feels he's heard what he came for and then some. But before leaving, he decides to share a small surprise he's been holding back.
Have you been married before too? Or?
Oh gosh, yes.
Okay. Oh gosh, yes.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Well, because it seemed to be a regular occurrence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's. I make it a joke. Yeah, I mean, it took me a long time to figure out I'm the common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How many times were you married?
He is my fourth.
Your fourth, okay.
Yes.
I don't know, just a little history of me. I'm actually a retired police officer. Came back to work about 2 years ago. I got bored sitting at home. But the vast majority of my career, I worked in investigation, CID, homicide unit in Albuquerque. So that's most of my career has been doing that.
Deputy Roger leaves little room for doubt, subtly making it clear that he is, in fact, investigating a possible homicide. Even though Dina tries to appear nonchalant, her face tells a different story. She looks visibly taken aback by the idea that a homicide detective is now sitting in her living room, and the timing of Roger's reveal couldn't have been more deliberate, coming right after Dina seemingly acknowledged that she's the common denominator in her previous failed marriages. With the surprise revealed, Roger wraps up the conversation and heads out, leaving Dina with a clear implication that she may now be a prime suspect in the possible homicide of her husband, a thought that will soon begin to consume her. At the same time, Roger walks away with something else he believes he identified during the hour-long interview, a possible financial motive behind Craig's disappearance, as well as an even stronger suspicion that he may have just been speaking with the alleged killer herself. Before heading back to the station to relay his findings, Roger's relentless instincts get the best of him. With more than 2 decades of experience and having handled a case with eerily similar circumstances that later turned into a homicide, he can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. So instead of leaving right away, he decides to stick around the neighborhood and speak with people who live nearby. A move that will not only fuel Roger's growing suspicions, but also reveal some new details police hadn't fully heard before.
How are you doing?
Hey, you. Roger School Club, we met.
Yeah, I was at school. You want to go here?
Will a dog bite me?
No.
Oh,
There,
okay.
there.
Just a good barker. What, do you know anything on the last time you saw him or talked to him?
No, it's been a while, and there's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't want to. I'm not trying to implicate
Right.
anybody. From what it sounds like in the past, you know, whenever those two get, like, when I say those two, Craig and Dina, they get together and you mix in a little bit of alcohol, things get a little bit flammable, or can be.
And Craig said, if anything ever happens to me out on one of these calls, Dina has a combination to the safe, and I keep an envelope full of money in it. And this is the only way I've been able to have any communication with him. And I don't even know if it's him.
Wonder who he supposedly went fishing to Mexico with. See, we had a call like this a long time ago. Long story short, turned into a murder. But she was staying in the house 3 weeks after she'd murdered him, and she drug him out in the back porch and covered him up with a tarp. Kind of rings the same deal. Same story, all he went on a fishing trip, well, he kept not showing up for work, and people were calling.
So he's really nowhere to be seen.
No, ma'am, he's nowhere to be
I think
found
everything
anywhere.
we've been told and heard is.
I want to say something else, but I don't want to implicate her.
You need to say it.
When we first moved here, we were just having conversations, and she was like, and she didn't say she'd kill him, but she was like, if it happened, you know, I'd be okay with it, kind of to that effect.
By now, the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore, and it seems like everyone familiar with the couple is thinking the same thing. They're just hesitant to say it out loud. Notably, Craig's firefighter friend Thomas also reveals that Craig told him Dina has the combination to the safe, directly contradicting Dina's claims earlier when she claimed she had no way of accessing the money inside the safe. Roger records these statements and eventually heads back to the station to speak with the lead detective Curtis to determine their next steps. Even though investigators are now strongly considering the possibility of homicide, they still lack physical evidence of foul play, or Craig's body, at least for the time being. 5 days after his initial visit, Deputy Roger returns to the Thetford's house to follow up with Dina. They still haven't been able to reach Craig, and the situation is looking increasingly grim. But this time, something different awaits Roger. As he arrives and steps out of his car, he notices something unsettling on the ground.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
I was about to make some coffee.
I'll take some coffee. What are you putting in the ground?
I'm not putting in the ground. I was trying to.
Extra
flatten
coffee
them or
sounds
roll
good.
Those rocks back in there.
Oh, I saw that metal thing. I thought maybe it was some kind of a holding
It's
thing.
It's an above ground gardening.
Oh, yeah.
Roger treats the discovery lightly, even joking about the massive hole Dina dug outside. But he'll soon find out that he's been, unknowingly, walking right over the truth this whole time.
What's he close to? Was he close to any of the females at all?
He's nice to everybody. I mean, everybody adores him.
Yeah.
You know, we were going to church, and everybody just loves him, and the neighbors, he would do anything for anybody.
So none of these neighbors had a gripe with him or an issue with him. It's just so unusual for somebody just completely pop off the radar. Just poof, they're gone. Well, it's a mystery. I just keep thinking he's maybe got an enemy that we're not aware of, or somebody that felt like they had something to gain.
I think, you know, if I had just left when he told me to, then none of this would have happened.
With this statement coming directly from Dina, she has effectively pointed the finger at herself. Whether she realizes it or not remains to be seen. With the remainder of the conversation yielding no new leads, Roger wraps up his second visit and heads out, still empty-handed. But as he leaves the property, Roger has no idea that this might be the last time he ever sees Dina alive. In the following weeks, things begin to escalate dramatically as Dina appears to have vanished. Any phone calls from detectives went straight to voicemail, and police were unable to locate her. Investigators also caught wind of rumors alleging Dina was talking about fleeing to Jamaica or taking her own life. However, there's a huge development that's about to happen today. Because sometime in the afternoon, an old co-worker of Dina from her prison job calls lead detective Curtis with an explosive tip.
Hello?
Hi, is this Andrew?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Detective Curtis with the Otero County Sheriff's Office. I had a message that you had called.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, what can I help you with, sir?
I recently got in touch with an old friend of mine. She was married to that dude, and apparently she said she shot him. I have a conscience, and I couldn't just not say nothing.
Can you tell me her name?
This is his wife, Dina.
Did she tell you when?
No, ma'am. I don't know none of the particulars.
What everyone has been anticipating this entire time has finally come to fruition. Seemingly straight from Dina herself, according to her old friend Andrew. However, without a body or hard evidence, Detective Curtis can't obtain an arrest warrant or press any charges. But not long after this call, another development takes place. This time, police catch wind that Dina was at her mother's house in Texas and attempted to take her own life. Detective Curtis realizes how quickly and dangerously the situation is escalating. If Dina manages to flee, or worse yet, takes life, they may never find Craig's body, and the case is doomed to go cold. With that possibility looming over the case, Curtis decides to act fast. She obtains a search warrant for Craig's house and begins coordinating with the Major Crimes Unit to execute the search, find Dina, and, more importantly, uncover Craig's body. As coordination is underway, Curtis sends a group of detectives and heads out to Dina's mother's residence. She needs to figure out why Dina is trying to harm herself.
So watch this because I get stuck in here. Hi, Mary. I'm Detective Curtis with the Sheriff's Office in New Mexico. Is it okay if I come in? Sure. I understand that these guys updated you on why we're all here. Yes. Okay. We're hoping that maybe we could talk to you a little bit about everything that's going on, if that's all right. Dina tried to take her. Did Dina tell you why she wanted to take her? No. No? Did she have a method she was planning on using? I don't know. She didn't say that. I knew she was real depressed. But I didn't expect any of this. About how long has she been back here? She started coming back. Off and on. I think it was maybe, I'm not sure.
Dina's mother is visibly shaken by the thought of her daughter harming herself, but she can't explain why Dina would take such drastic action. Detective Curtis wraps up the interview and gathers possible addresses for Dina's acquaintances, hotels, and hospitals where she might be. They need to find her before she can do something irreversible. Hours later, back in New Mexico, the Major Crimes Unit is briefed and the coordination is in full effect. Detective Curtis and Deputy Roger, along with a group of officers, make their way to the Thetford property, hoping to find at least one of the two alive.
Sheriff's Office! Is there a code spot?
No. Check these other doors.
No?
This one's already been
It's already been what? Huh.
After circling around the exterior of the top floor, deputies discover one of the front doors is suspiciously unlocked, suggesting Dina may be somewhere inside. Officers decide to conduct an initial sweep for potential threats. Given Dina's violent past, her prison officer background, and the murder allegations hanging over her, deputies can't be too careful. One of the deputies has a code for the garage door downstairs, and that's where they decide to make their entry.
Through the garage!
That door's mine.
Sheriff's office!
Clear.
Is it locked? There's 2 doors to the left. We're gonna open this.
Stairs. I got stairs.
What's it? You got stairs?
If you want, so there's another door on this other side. You want to check that door, and I'll go upstairs.
I got another door. I got another door. Oh,
blue.
Good? Yep. Back around.
After clearing the basement, officers spot Craig's safe that's supposedly holding $1.5 million in savings. A locksmith quickly gets to work on unlocking the safe, while deputies head upstairs to continue sweeping the house, where they'll soon find their first clues of foul play.
Coker? I already checked the bedroom here and the bathroom and the closet.
As police finish sweeping the house, they begin to notice multiple clues that suggest a violent event and subsequent cleanup. Multiple bottles of bleach scattered throughout the house, a surveillance system that appears to have been physically disabled, and various areas showing signs of cleaning. But with no sign of Dina or Craig's body in the main house, deputies move outside to check the outbuildings, starting with Craig's man cave.
It's the man cave.
Good job. Police Department! Sheriff's Office announce yourself! Search warrant! Looks like you have an upstairs. Small room, got a door. Small room coming out. Okay, small room. Light it up. Clear. There's cameras on the back side of this house. I'm sure she destroyed it if there was any. Is that dirt or is that blood?
As deputies continue their search, they also find a table saw with possible blood traces, as well as suspected splatter in the workshop area. But still, no human body or remains anywhere. In the meantime, back in the basement of the main house, the locksmith is seconds away from opening Craig's safe and confirming something Deputy Roger had suspected all along.
Let me get a photographer over
Where do
here.
you guys want us? Over
Just-
here in the border?
On camera.
We can get out of here for a minute if you'd like. No, you're good.
We're good.
Bunch of ammo. Rifle, pistol.
Yo, I have it all.
Holy smokes.
want
Kimber is missing.
I don't want to destroy this.
Probably not gonna steal them, man.
4,200.
Okay. She missed it. So,
10,000, 4,200, 70,000.
84,000.
The total amount Deputy Roger counts is far less than the $1.5 million Deanna had told him was inside just a few weeks ago. The missing money further supports investigators' speculations that Craig's been dead for a while, and that his wife has been burning through his money. The area is vast, and if Craig had been buried somewhere beyond the property, finding him could take months or longer. What officers don't yet realize is that Craig's body has been hidden in plain sight the entire time. As the search continues, a detective back at the police station gets a call from someone all too familiar with Dina, her daughter, Leslie. The last time the detective spoke with Leslie, she revealed startling allegations about her mother's behavior during the time they lived together. This time, however, Leslie has critical information to share. Details she and her siblings supposedly knew for a while, but she's the one who finally decided to talk.
Randy, it's Lizzie, and I have Leslie on the line.
Leslie.
So I told her that I kind of filled you in, but I was going to let you ask her any questions you might have.
Okay. Hi, Leslie. How are you this morning?
Oh, you know.
Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Well, good. So, Leslie, can you tell me what your mom told you?
It was just like everyone was
Alright,
being
hang
so
on.
weird, and I knew
I
something
gotta go
was
check
going
on my
and
ramen.
they would tell me
My
anything.
slow
Well,
cooking
my
ramen.
She said she was gonna, and then she came to see me one last time, and she wanted to see my son, her grandson, one last time, and then she told me what happened.
What did she tell you happened?
That Craig pushed her down the stairs and she shot him and he fell into the pool room. She left him laying there on the floor for like a day, 2 days and a half, and then she wrapped him up, I don't know, rug, plastic wrap and stuff, and then they tied that up with the tractor and they moved him with the tractor to the carport. And there's 2 carports over there. And I kind of have the feeling that he's probably in the one by the bunkhouse where he used to park, like, underneath the tractor, or, like, something parked on top of him. Like, it might be, like, they might have dug, like, a little hole or something. It's, like, a hidden in plain sight type of thing.
So why do you think your mom called you?
Well, I was the last one to find out. My other siblings had already known for a long time. She said she wanted to, like, unburden herself. All my siblings and everybody was, like, acting so weird. Then my sister was crying and everything, and she asked me to come to her house to see her. So I went to her house, and then after I got back from there, like, everyone cut off with me, and I haven't talked to them since then.
And just like that, Leslie seemingly cracks the case, giving investigators the breakthrough they've been looking for. The deputies back at the residence are informed that Craig's body is hidden on the property. Based on Leslie's tip, they move to conduct a thorough search of the detached metal carport west of the house, where investigators will discover that the truth has been hidden in plain sight all along. In the carport, next to the tractor, officers spot a large pile of cardboard boxes, rugs, soil bags, and other items stacked to hide something underneath. As they clear the pile, black plastic sheets become visible, and inside, they discover a human body concealed beneath materials to hide the foul odor. After transporting the body for an autopsy, doctors estimate it has been deceased for weeks to months, consistent with a January killing. 3 or 4 gunshot wounds are found on the left side, including one through the heart, classifying the death as homicide. After using fingerprints, the body is positively identified as Craig Thetford. With this tragic discovery, an arrest warrant is officially issued for Dina, and multiple units in both New Mexico and Texas are informed to be on the lookout for her. A few hours into the search, officers in Texas receive information from Dina's mother, Mary. She tells them that Dina is at Red River Hospital. Officers quickly arrive at the hospital where they find Dina alive and unharmed. She's taken into custody without incident. As she's transported to the station for questioning, Dina remains calm and cordial, almost as if she's been expecting this moment for months. Detective Curtis now has a body and what she believes enough evidence to pursue homicide charges. But there's one final question she doesn't have an answer to yet. Why was Craig truly killed?
William Lindowski, with the district attorney's office out of New Mexico.
Sorry, I'm Detective Curtis with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. So, I'm sure you understand why we're all here?
Yes.
Did you get a copy of your arrest warrant
No,
yesterday?
I haven't gotten
when
a
you
copy
picked
of
up?
anything by anybody anywhere.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna need a lawyer.
Okay.
And that's as far as I'm gonna go.
Okay.
This is my plan because I don't know any better, any other way. I don't either, unfortunately. They don't let me get very close.
As fate would have it, Detective Curtis won't get the answer she hoped for, as Dina invokes her right to a lawyer, effectively ending the interview. Following this, Dina is booked into jail without bond for first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. And while the why of Craig's death remains unanswered, the investigation continues. In the following weeks, detectives and prosecutors gather their evidence and build a classic circumstantial homicide case, alleging Dina intentionally shot Craig multiple times inside the house, moved and hid his body, lied repeatedly about his whereabouts, and looted shared assets. Prosecutors believe what they have will lead to a conviction, with the main open question being whether the jury finds first-degree murder or a lesser homicide charge. As of March 2026, Dina Thetford's case is still in the pre-trial phase, and she remains innocent until proven guilty in court. She faces life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years if convicted of first-degree murder, or 18 years if convicted of second-degree murder, plus additional time for the tampering charge.
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands.
Police are in the middle of hunting down a wanted serial killer, living inside the very van where he killed his latest victim.
Go back over there.
Oh, what's that? What's that smell?
24 hours before this confrontation, officers discover a brutalized body of a woman with seemingly no evidence left behind that could connect anyone to the case.
The victim is still unidentified, and we're taking a shot in the dark. Maybe you've seen her.
Everybody's seen him around, but nobody really knows him, as far as I know. When I found out Michelle was dead, dog, and you can ask my boss now, it killed me.
But over the following day, small clues would start surfacing, revealing additional victims going as far back as 4 decades, eventually leading to one of the longest active serial killers in Florida's history.
There's the back piece. This is our van.
Steve, you made a mistake. I know.
I didn't do this. It's Matt.
Steve, come on now.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that there are bodies out there attached to him that either haven't been found or gone. This guy cannot be on the street. He has to go away or somebody else could get hurt.
It's around 2 p.m. in Marathon, Florida. Near Vaca Cut Bridge, families enjoy a quiet afternoon until just off the side of the road, a fisherman notices a strong, overwhelming odor. As he steps closer, he sees something so gruesome, he immediately calls 911. Within moments, Florida officers arrive, and it wouldn't be long before the entire lake area would need to be evacuated.
Where's she at? 5112, rigor set in. Jesus Christ.
On the ground lies an unidentified woman, unclothed and already beginning to stiffen. From what officers can tell, she's been here for several hours. The current near Vaca Cut Bridge is exceptionally strong, with a history of fatal accidental drownings. At first, officers believe this could be another one of those cases, but as they flip her over, that assumption would quickly fade.
Okay. We'll move her a little bit, and then Edie, if you want to take your pictures as we're rolling so that if there's anything that falls or moves, because what I'm looking at is this stick right here.
Okay. Need a hand?
Looks like she was dragged by this hand.
Oh, look at that.
Yep, did you see that?
Look at her around the neck.
Right around the neck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks, look at the side of her head.
Yep.
You got blood, you got scrapes all over the back. Call Doc.
As they examine the body closer, they notice strangulation marks on her neck, blood, and signs of trauma, all pointing to a violent assault. With a potential homicide on their hands, officers call in the on-duty detective, while others begin evacuating the area immediately. Before the detective arrives, officers at the scene continue trying to identify the victim, only to realize it won't be that simple.
Anybody recognize her? Do you know who she is?
Mm-mm. Nope. Doesn't appear to be a homeless because she's well kept. She's groomed. I just don't see the clothes. You know what I'm saying? It's too something there.
This is all the officers know about the woman. No clothing, no ID, nothing to go off of. But not for long, as the on-duty detective soon arrives. Matt Pitcher is a seasoned undercover detective. He doesn't know it yet, but he's about to take down the town's most dangerous killer. Using a multi-hour interview with Pitcher, we'll break down exactly what he was thinking and the complex forensic methods used to crack a near-perfect homicide.
I do not have good luck.
What's up, New Orleans? This is Comedy Central Stand Up Presents. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Dillon.
Yeah! Look at this theater! Before I was a comedian, I was out of work a lot. What's the worst thing about being out of work? What do you think? No money? Very reasonable answer. That's not it. It's not no money, it's not poverty, it's not homelessness. It is the unsolicited advice you get from your friends. I was out of work 1 week, leave me alone. One of my DJ friends, my personal trainer / DJ friends, comes up to me and he goes like this. He goes, yo, bro, it's pretty fucking simple. You gotta see yourself as the world sees you. And that's the job you do. I was like, okay, that may be true, but you can't just be a retired detective. I can't just walk around New York City with a cup of coffee being racist. There has to be schooling. I am so happy to not be in New York. It's too fucking expensive. You gotta be evil. That's how much money it costs. You gotta be evil. That's the only fucking way to live in New York City. It's so bad, nobody will even admit what they do for a living. Because they all pay $8 grand a month for a loft, so whatever they do is fucking evil. But if you ask somebody what they do for a living, you get the same response. You're like, what do you do for a living? Oh, he's a guy in a suit. He's like, ha 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 ha. It's an experimental, you know, it's a multi-platform. When JP Morgan forecloses on a house, I burn it down. Come on! You know, I'm a designer. What do you design? I don't want to brag, you know? The uniforms at Guantanamo Bay. I love orange.
Oh, this guy's
I
not
don't
funny.
listen, here's the deal. Who's under 30? Well, now I feel weird about this joke. I had no idea. No, let me tell you this. I get angry at millennials. So I do. And not the old, thank you. Thank you, the 4 old people here. Just 3 elderly people in the back who work security for this theater. God bless you. Fuck these kids. No, here's the deal. If you're under 23, you have a fake job. Listen, unless you're in the military or a nurse, and you're not. If you're under 23, you have a fake job. But the problem is, if you ask a millennial about their fake job, they are so confident that you feel like a piece of shit. You're like, what do you do for a living? They're like, actually, I'm an Instagram filter. Excuse me? Yeah, I'm Valencia. Oh, I had no idea. I had a real job when I was a millennial. Okay, I didn't do any of this bullshit like manage the Instagram account of a tweet or whatever the hell you do. Okay, I had a real job. I sold subprime mortgages. Thank you very much. Thank you. I sold mansions to janitors, and they loved it for 6 to 8 months. And then I had to stop doing that because I was growing as a person and the FBI and all this shit. And I was evolving, and I moved from Long Island to New York City, and I had to get another sales job. And this is how soft New York City is. And I don't want it to happen in New Orleans. I see it happen, by the way. I don't want it to happen. This is how soft New York is. The only thing that I could interview to sell was organic baby food. But the problem was I brought all of the aggression from the mortgage world into that interview. It was just an old hipster. He's like, hey, welcome to Happy Baby. I was like, I will do whatever the fuck needs to be done. He's like, whoa, we're just really proud of the ingredients we put in the jars. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what goes in those jars. I work for you. He's like, well, this is just going to the food co-op and talking to parents. I'm like, well, I won't talk to the feds. Put me in this radish pudding game now. They called the cops, but fuck them. They don't want to make money. A couple of years ago back east, there was a really sad story. Young gay student prematurely ended his life by jumping off a bridge. Fact about myself, I told my friends and family that I was gay the same week that happened. You could only imagine the phone calls and emails I got. They were like, we hope you would never do that. I said, guys, as bad as things get for me, do you have any idea how long of a walk it is from the middle of that fucking bridge? At no point in the planning of my suicide am I going to include cardio. But thank you for still not knowing me at all. Thank you. I did a show for gay people the other day. The woman that booked me got angry. She's like, you said LGBT. I said, yeah. She's like, it's actually LGBTIAQ2. I said, who the fuck are all of those people? She said, it's asexual, intersex, questioning, and 2 spirits. I said, are they gay ghosts? She didn't laugh. She didn't like it. Trying to get in better shape. Anybody here trying to get in better? I hate when the first row is good looking. They're so good looking. I'm playing now to the 8th row. You know what I mean? I love, because you're hidden. The point is anybody trying to get in shape? Good, okay. Don't clap to be a person, I get it. It's tough. We don't know what good food is in this country. We have no idea what health food is. There's got to be a reward for the guy in the food industry that comes up with an idea every couple of years that allows fat people like myself to go and engorge themselves like animals and walk out feeling healthy. And if you live in America, you know what it is. Self-serve frozen yogurt. It's a little out of fucking control at this point. You always walk in, it's the same place, always a 19-year-old girl. She's like, the yogurt is 1 calorie. Treat yourself. You're like, what's in the yogurt? She's like, shut the fuck up. Look at me. Don't start any problems. I'm armed and we're on camera. Take these 70 sample cups and get back in the line. You're like, okay. And they're like crack dealers. Those girls at the yogurt, they're like crack dealers. They're like, by the way, if you want any toppings, we have cookies, cakes, chicken McNuggets, steak tidbits, mashed potatoes, gravy, cream spinach, cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, scotch, Jose Cuervo. You know what our most popular topping is? Ice cream. You might as well. Then you put it on a scale. She's like, that'll be $37. That's not even a real scale. They're just trained to see how fat and desperate you look. She's like, you'll pay $23 for this, right? I'm like, oh, sure. Then you eat it in your car, and these places are always next to a gym, and you eat this devil's cereal you've made out of chocolate-covered fucking pretzels, gummy bears, and maybe 1 ounce of yogurt. And you watch people walk out of a gym and you say, that place had a picture of a papaya on the wall. How did this go off the rails so quickly? Bullying's a big deal. Any bullies here? Nobody? Nowhere ever in the country is there a bully. You've got a great bullying look, sir. Sweatshirt. Nice, relaxed fit. You're an intellectual bully, I can tell. You make people feel bad about the type of movies they watch. A friend of mine came up to me, he's like, you gotta ban bullying for gay people. You can't, because then straight people, everybody who needs to get bullied will fall through the cracks. Somebody said, nobody needs to get bullied. That's not true. I had lunch on Long Island after Obama's re-election. I had lunch, and this was what a guy said at our table. These were real words that came out of his mouth. He went, getting pretty tough to be a white guy, man. That's a guy that needed to get hit. Not even with a fist, probably with like a brick. I knew a kid in 3rd grade who got hit with a brick. You know what he is today? The nicest guy you'll ever meet. He's in a wheelchair, but he's an amazing guy. He wheels up to you, says hello. I'm from Long Island. Is anybody from Long Island? Yeah. The cheerleading squad came out for the show. To get back to Long Island, I take the Long Island Railroad. The Long Island Railroad is a train, and if you buy a ticket to this train after midnight, they call it the drunk train. The people who sell you the ticket call it the drunk train, okay? What they fail to mention is the drunk train is just people beating the shit out of each other for 45 minutes. It's MMA on a train for an hour. Joe Rogan's announcing, it's out of control. And the last time I was on this train, 2 guys had gotten into an argument. I don't know about what, probably not Brexit, but guessing. One guy punches the other guy, and a drop of blood flies off his mouth and onto the crust of my uneaten slice of barbecue chicken pizza. What a quandary in a young man's life. But I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it. Because I said that would be the most embarrassing way to tell my dad I got AIDS. If I went home, I'm like, Dad, I have AIDS. He's like, well, you're gay. We thought this could happen. I'm like, no, sit down. This is This is much worse.
Hey,
My
Pete.
mother is a schizophrenic. Don't worry, we locked her up. Don't worry. Well, then you can take her in. She is. And I love her. And she's there, and she lives with other schizophrenics, and I go visit her on painting day. So I love painting, and I love her. And here's what's weird. They make the schizophrenics paint pre-stenciled beach scenes. She's a schizophrenic. She's not in here for lack of imagination. Let her paint the secret police she won't shut the fuck up about. It'll be a much better painting. I'm a swimmer and I'm from Long Island, and you believe one of those things. And usually how I swim, I jump off like an 8 or a 10-foot bridge. I swim around in a canal. It's a lot of fun. The last time I'm doing this, standing on the bridge, getting ready to jump. Long Island's got some negative stereotypes, and we've earned all of them. As I'm standing on the bridge, getting ready to jump, every negative stereotype about Long Island you can even imagine comes riding up to me in his speedboat with his girlfriend and just starts hassling me, going, yo, bro, do it now. Yo, do it now. And then he looked in my eyes and he said something I'll never forget. He went, yo, bro, don't chicken out in front of my girl. So I jumped because I had nowhere else to go. And I came out of the water and he's standing above me. He goes, that's right. And then he just drives away. And I got depressed because I realized I need that guy in other areas of my life. Like, was that guy even real? Or did I just invent a Guido to push me in the right direction? Like, if I feel timid at a gay bar, he just follows me around. He's like, yo, bro, don't not suck that dick in front of my girl. Let's go. A friend of mine was having an anniversary with his wife. He's like, I'm just going to pick up some ice cream and head home. That's fine. That's a romantic food. And then he said this. He goes, yeah, I'm just going to pick up some Breyers. There is no reason to eat Breyers ice cream if you're under 90 fucking years old. Breyers ice cream was recently voted the ice cream most likely to dribble out of your mouth during a stroke. Every day, my 85-year-old grandmother has 3 Doers on the rocks and a bowl of Breyers peach ice cream. What do you guys think the best brand of ice cream, not flavor, brand? Ben & Jerry's, someone's a drug addict. Thank you. Ben & Jerry's always has one thing that does not belong in the ice cream. It's like, we have fudge and M&Ms and pieces of my couch. We have caramel, popcorn, and the W computer key right in there. It's like, let's have one person that's not on acid when we make the fucking ice cream. What else? Bluebell that just had a fucking E. coli recall? How about you? How does that even happen? What, does some meth head drop a chicken wing in the vat? Set a standard. It's not Bluebell. What else? Haagen-Dazs is very Nazi-ish, let's be honest. Haagen-Dazs, our only flavor is vanilla! What else? Not Haagen-Dazs. What else? Talenti's a gelato. Please pay attention. We get it. You're better than everybody else. What are you, a travel writer? It's not a real job. It's not Talenti. What else? Baskin-Robbins. Here's the problem with Baskin-Robbins. There's always too much shit going on. It's always like Baskin-Robbins, Subway, a police precinct, a gas station, an abortion clinic, an Indian guy selling cigars out of a humidor. And there's one person working all of those jobs. Trying to outrun automation in fucking real time. It's not Baskin-Robbins. What else? Turkey Hill. Oh, that NASCAR watching white trash middle American brand. They sell Turkey Hill at the Pennsylvania Turnpike at gas stations where pregnant women fight each other and people bet on it. What's Turkey Hill's latest flavor gonna be? Meth? Moose Track Marks? It's not Turkey Hill. What else? Someone said Cold Stone. Here's the problem with Cold Stone. They make the employees sing to you. Many of those people are at the lowest point of their lives. Nobody wants to hear this. Welcome to Cold Stone. I get my daughter back next week. Welcome to Cold Stone. One more clean urine, I'm out of the program. It's not Cold Stone. What else? Dairy Queen does not even advertise that they're good. Dairy Queen's only advertisement is that they can hand you their product upside down. It is fun to look at the prison tattoos of who's ever handing you the Dairy Queen. You're like, is that Mexican Mafia? Oh yeah, that's nice. Great ink work. It's not Dairy Queen. What else? Carvel. Here's the thing with Carvel. Carvel's a soft serve ice cream. You have 8 seconds to eat Carvel ice cream before it looks like somebody ejaculated in your car. McDonald's. First of all, someone just said Dippin' Dots. Some husk of a human being in the back just said Dippin' Dots, the ice cream that tastes like rocks. It has the mouthfeel of cat litter. What do you mean, how do I know it? I've been in positions that I'm not proud of. What kind of psychopath thinks Dippin' Dots? I wish ice cream tasted like gravel. And then someone over here said McDonald's. And I just want to say, I hope whatever you're going through, you come out on the other side of. Well, what? You went so fucking local right there. I love that, so fucking local. You're like the deli that I work at, motherfucker. See, in New York, we'd have all these fucking hipsters that would be, they wouldn't name one brand. Everything would be some fucking little weird shop where the ice cream is made by 4 lesbians in a tub. And they have flavors like hand soap and lavender and fucking focaccia bread. And there's a flavor called Equality, and you're not allowed to ask what's in it.
Hey!
There is no answer. I actually think I'm lactose intolerant, but I do. Thank you guys. Good night.
For the person out there who's planning on doing it, you know, the thing that we all wake up every day hoping we'll see in the news, and we're like, man, no one's done it yet. Keep going. Your plan, it's gonna work. If not, it'll inspire the next person. And I will definitely put money on your bugs. We're all rooting for you and hoping that you do it quickly and get away with it.
For those of you who aren't clued in, she's encouraging someone to assassinate Donald Trump, which is a crime, by the way. Inciting violence and offering to pay someone to murder for you is not protected speech. But this is like a new TikTok trend now where a bunch of crazies are asking if Trump is dead yet.
Hey, MAGA, is he dead yet? That's the only thing, the only conversation that I want to have with you. Whether or not he's dead yet. So stay off my fucking page unless you're coming to tell me that Donald is dead.
I genuinely believe that these people are so uneducated that they don't know that this would make J.D. Vance president, and he basically has the same values as Trump. So anyway, a few years ago, I made this video here called How People Are Being Radicalized, which was primarily a response to a giant YouTuber named Ludwig reacting to my content. And look, there's Hassan Piker right there in the thumbnail. Who could have predicted 3 years ago that he would be a major force radicalizing people today? But since that video, things have continued to get worse, and now we have even more mentally ill liberals screaming at everyone. Though the best part of the current year is that a lot of them are coming out of the closet on bullying.
But I do have to give Tim Waltz credit for saying that we need to be meaner. Because a lot of you need to be, like, meaner. Of course that's what you're saying. You leftists just want to bully everybody. Yeah. In this case, yeah. If you're still walking around with a MAGA hat, yeah.
All right, that's what everyone's been waiting for. I'm sure the news of the new bullying meta will make the MAGA hats very happy. But what really seems to be the issue here with all these people going onto TikTok to have psychotic breakdowns, or tell people to take canned food, put it into a sock, and then use that to beat your family members who voted for Trump, is that they are so incapable of listening to any differing viewpoints that they don't understand their opposition or even their own side well enough to see why Trump is so popular.
You were a Democrat.
I was,
You've
my
always
whole
been
life.
Really?
I first voted for Bill Clinton and voted Democrat every single year until November. We can't just have anyone cross the border. What I will tell you is that it was not for Donald Trump, we might still be living next to gang members because everything changed after he was elected.
Right, you can't just let a ton of people illegally cross the border. That's a great way to enable child sex trafficking, the trafficking of dangerous hard drugs like fentanyl, and it allows criminals to invade our country unabated. Some of these wokies seem to be quick to forget that not even 6 months ago, Venezuelan gangs were assaulting and kidnapping people in Colorado apartments. There's a reason why we have borders, and in fact, I'm old enough to remember when Bernie Sanders was against illegals.
Open borders. That's a Koch brothers proposal. The idea, of course, I mean, that's a right-wing proposal which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot of the global poor richer, wouldn't it?
And it'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state. What right-wing people in this country would love is an open border policy. Bring in all kinds of people who work for $2 or $3 an hour. That would be great for them. I don't believe in that.
It's actually not just Bernie Sanders who's spoken out against illegals. In fact, every president on the left that's taken office during my lifetime has been against open borders.
Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable.
All Americans in every place in this country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards.
I voted for a fence. Punish American employers who knowingly violate the law when in fact they hire illegally.
Crazy, right? But going back to what Bernie Sanders said, open borders used to very much be a right-wing position that George Bush Jr. was infamous for allowing in the 2000s. In the past, I believe Republicans were very pro-amnesty of illegals because big businesses loved hiring them as a soft form of slave labor because they had to accept very low pay, and if they wanted to organize for some sort of workers' rights, they could just be deported. But now it seems like cheap labor is a leftist position.
Hey, these mass deportations are going to help out real Americans, right?
I'm going to stop you right there. First off, if watching families being ripped apart does not appeal to your humanity, let me try and appeal to you financially, because these mass ICE deportations are bad for the economy. So while undocumented immigrants actually make up a really small portion of the overall workforce, they are overrepresented in jobs that you do not want. Things that have little benefits, long hours, backbreaking work with no pay. For example, about 42% of the agricultural workforce.
Without the slaves, who will pick the cotton? But in reality, illegals make it very difficult for small businesses who want to provide good pay and good working conditions to compete against big businesses or other small businesses who are essentially cheating. Also, those same illegals are stealing away resources from people who actually pay into the system, and that's causing those people to switch parties.
This was the precise moment I no longer was a Democrat.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Let me stop you right there. They're not undocumented immigrants, they're illegal aliens. Calling them immigrants implies that they are legally here, and they are not legally here. Stop trying to confuse people on purpose by changing the language. Anyway, let's continue. Everyone raised their hands saying they were in favor of giving free healthcare
Sure.
to illegals. Wait, was one of those people Bernie Sanders? Let's get a higher quality image from YouTube, and yep, it is. What a wild political shift.
That was the precise moment that I knew I was leaving the Democratic Party, because I was a 2-time bone cancer survivor. I voted for Obama-Biden based on Obamacare. And when it was implemented in 2010, I went from an insurance plan of $185 a month with a $1,000 deductible, and I was left with the cheapest option being $1,200 a month, $6,000 deductible. I went 10 years without insurance because I could no longer afford insurance. Every single Democrat candidate up on that debate stage raised their hand and said they would give illegals free health care. That was the exact moment I was no longer a Democrat.
You want to know why your medical bills are so expensive? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, but a big one is the fact that emergency rooms are legally required to take care of people who enter them, whether they have the money or not, and illegals love using that as a form of healthcare, followed by not paying for their bill, so the hospitals just jack up the prices for everyone else to pay for that. And I have to say that the taxpayers are tired of being looted by the people gaming the system and by the flunkies of society.
They cut my motherfucking food stamps to $85 from $738. How the fuck that's supposed to support a household of 3? How the fuck am I supposed to survive off that shit? So when y'all see me in the motherfucking store stealing stuff and that shit in my motherfucking bag, nicely act like you don't see shit.
Just by looking at you, everyone can tell that you aren't starving, so pay for your own food or have fun ending up in a jail cell after you try to steal it. But these days in America, every leftist and their grandmother is just looting taxpayers to make up for their own terrible decisions. And like I said, it's not just the right that's tired of being bullied by these people. Stuff like this has been causing longtime Democrats to flee the party. And that's because this is stealing. This is called theft. You guys want to know why you can't afford shit anymore? Half the reason is because the government is out there constantly stealing your money and largely giving it to themselves. But while they do that, they throw a bunch of people crying in front of you who have made tons of irresponsible decisions and say, can't you just have some compassion? No, I don't have compassion for people who have made bad decision after bad decision, refuse to change, and then use that as an excuse to rob me. Now, I do care about people who are suffering with genuine disabilities, and I think those are an exception to the rule. However, it is uncanny how much money these people in the government are stealing from you, while at the same time they use poor people or illegals as human shields to prevent anyone from criticizing them. Here's a video of some on-the-ground reporting of New York giving free housing to illegals in New York City, one of the most expensive places to live in America.
We're in uptown New York City, right next to all these brownstone homes that cost millions of dollars, and this 10-story high shelter is housing thousands of migrants for completely free. What do you think about all the migrants that are getting free rent, you get the free food, they get free time here in New York City while you guys have to pay for your rent and everything like that? Does that make you upset?
Yeah, honestly, that's not fair for me. That shit is not fair at all. We all live here. We all gotta work. We all gotta get our shit. So they should do the same shit. You feel me?
And that's not even the worst of it. You see, a lot of these places that are housing illegals were basically just hotels going bankrupt because they couldn't get enough customers, so now the government is paying them for every night illegals stay there.
It's interesting to know that many of the hotels housing migrants inside New York were once on the brink of bankruptcy before they turned into migrant shelters. And now the city is paying a premium of up to $300 per room and guaranteeing maximum capacity for each building. In other words, these hotels are making more money than ever before with a guaranteed max capacity each night and not having to worry about spending money on advertising to receive extra bookings. So if you're a businessman, why wouldn't you turn your hotel into a migrant shelter, especially if your company can make an extra $10.5 million in pure profit?
So this is literally a corrupt business wealth transfer, and it's not the only example of it being done. In fact, a lot of taxpayer money is stolen this way. A great book called The Dictator's Handbook outlines a number of foreign aid scams where politicians are like, yeah, here's $20 million of foreign aid to help farms in Haiti, but they can only spend the money on John Deere tractors. This is rich people preying on the pathological kindness of some Americans and preying on their lack of ability to research where their money is going. And like I said, this is not that uncommon. Even better, these air quote compassionate, useful idiots love to talk down to you as they try to force you to take experimental medical procedures or be ostracized from society.
America, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. Do you know why I am here today, my friends? Those of you who are unvaccinated, yeah, you are not welcome to play with the vaccinated friends anymore. I know. And you know why that is? Because they don't want to Die. That's right. They do not want to die. So here's what we're going to do. When you get a vaccine, you're going to get a really cool card. And you
I can see this idiot.
And you're going to show it to private businesses and hospitals and schools to get inside. Does that sound good?
No, that doesn't sound good. That sounds a lot like fascism. That sounds like authoritarianism, and it sounds like you're saying that I should be forced to inject some barely tested mystery fluid into my body that's not even that effective because you don't want to deal with your anxiety issues. This is not just lacking in compassion for others. What she's saying should happen is genuinely evil. And we all had to hear this shit for multiple years as big tech memory hold any criticism. But all of these radicalized beliefs didn't just spark out of nowhere. They've been pushed for many years by the media and colleges, with more classical examples like this clip of Maxine Waters telling people who were already looting businesses, setting everything on fire, beating people up, and sometimes killing people. She was telling these people to get more confrontational if they didn't get the verdict they wanted for the George Floyd Derek Chauvin trial.
We're going to get a verdict that is say guilty, guilty, guilty. And if we don't, we cannot go away. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
Why is this chick not in prison for saying that? Oh, but she didn't say go be violent. I don't care. Everyone knows what she meant. She's literally telling rioters to go riot more, and that is not protected speech, that's terrorism. Like I said, this is not new, and it's ongoing with the younger generations on Twitch, where you have one of the largest creators actively promoting multiple terrorist groups.
Here, let's talk about our favorite flags.
Oh, like overall, what my favorite flag?
Yeah.
Hezbollah. Look it up.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag.
I don't know flags.
It's this is a.
You know what? I'm gonna be brave.
Come on.
My favorite flag.
It's got an AK on it and a fucking hand holding it up.
Wow. Son.
Or.
We might have to cut this.
We're behind the paywall. It's fine.
Yeah, sick terrorist flag, dude. Isn't it so cool? This is basically like Hassan saying that Hitler is his favorite political leader. And I mean, geez, you can visibly see how immediately uncomfortable his statement makes everyone in the room as he promotes a Muslim terrorist group in front of a gay guy and a pride flag.
Does he know what One Piece is?
Lofi.
Is it Lofi?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way! We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do.
Now, a lot of people have said that this guy wasn't actually a Houthi, but whether he was a Houthi terrorist or not is beside the point, because the reason that Hassan interviewed him is because he thought he was a Houthi.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother.
The Houthis have child slave soldiers and child sex slaves. Did you know that there are 4 million children married to pedophiles in Yemen right now? And Hassan supports that regime?
I believe what the Houthis are doing is a good thing. 10 toes fucking down. They are on the morally right side.
But Hassan is not the only person who is spreading radicalism on Twitch. He literally has an entire friend group helping him promote terrorism in multiple ways, like Sean DeBlack telling someone to murder Destiny, Denim's offering to pay someone to kill Mark Kern for $30,000, as well as Mike from PA putting a $100,000 hit on Ethan Klein. Keep in mind that this is straight up criminal behavior. They should be serving jail time for encouraging their radicalized followers to kill people. Yet they don't even so much as get a warning from Twitch for doing this. However, Twitch will ban you if you call someone fat or call a prostitute.
So I want to let you guys all know this. This is the same website where Hassan calls me a rapist, Asmongold a pedophile, and a mother killer, bringing up Asmongold's dead mother. No ban. I call an OnlyFans girl a whore after she called me a rapist. A career-ending, life-ending accusation. They get no punishment. I get 7 days.
People are getting quite tired of the double standards and the two-tiered system of rules. It's not just Twitch allowing this, though. YouTube does it too. Another of Hassan's groupies, Noah Sampson, has been using his YouTube channel to promote racism and terrorism as well.
The vast majority of the Israeli public supports this genocide. This should come as no surprise given Israel's history. A country that exists on the logic of ethnic supremacy and colonization requires a certain level of dehumanization to keep its inhabitants from collapsing under the weight of the reality of their rotten society. Simply put, it's a genocidal society, top to bottom.
Let me reiterate that Noah said that effectively all Jews in Israel are evil Israeli Defense Force supporting Zionists, which is not true. There are tons of Jews in Israel who don't support what the IDF is doing. But because Noah is either stupid or more likely a liar, He uses a survey that only polled 600 people to describe a Jewish population of over 7 million and say that basically all Jews in Israel want Palestinians dead. This is a massive research fumble. That is a really low population size, especially considering that NOAA essentially is using that number to say that it would be moral to exterminate almost all of the Jewish population in Israel, including civilians and including children, because they're all rotten, colonizing, genocidal racists. There's a bunch of other mistakes in NOAA's research, and it's suffice to say that a very common tactic of radical leftists like NOAA is to weaponize terrible research to trick people into believing things that are not true. They do this almost constantly. But more importantly, since we're talking about YouTube rules, let me just note that what NOAA said in that last clip is very much a violation of YouTube's policies. And if you don't think so, then replace the word Jew with black person, call them all rotten, and watch his channel disappear. Noah Samson has actually violated the YouTube rules a bunch. In his follow-up video, the genocide-supporting YouTubers responded. After calling Ethan Klein and Mudahar propagandists, he tells his followers to commit terrorist acts by causing damage to the supply chains, as well as violently attack politicians and propagandists who disagree with his viewpoint.
We are living in the belly of the beast. We have direct geographical, physical access to the politicians, the propagandists, the weapons companies, and the supply chains that are facilitating this genocide. Protesting is great. We should keep doing that. But also, I feel like we have to be honest with ourselves. 17 months in, and what is protesting actually accomplished? Really, politically, materially? Nothing. If we want this genocide to stop, it's time to escalate. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the policy that Noah violated on YouTube. Obviously, you're not allowed to promote terrorism or violent acts. And for those of you who would point out that he removed this clip from the video, I would just like to say that YouTube saves a copy of the original video when you make edits, and removing content or deleting videos does not remove your liability for breaking the rules in the eyes of YouTube. Last, Noah Samson does this massive live stream series where he interviews that guy Hassan Piker initially told everyone was a Houthi. And towards the end of that interview, Noah says this.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about how I feel about the Houthis without the FBI arresting me, but I would say this motion and this motion and free Palestine from the river to the sea. Dude, I love that kid.
In an extreme case of irony, this moment actually occurs at 9 hours and 11 minutes into the stream. But it is very much against YouTube rules because the Houthis are designated as a terrorist organization, and you're not allowed to promote terrorism on YouTube. This is what pisses everyone off. For years on Big Tech, if you had any opinion that was slightly right of Karl Marx, you could get banned for sneezing in the wrong direction. Yet people like Hassan or Noah Samson can violate the rules numerous times, and their channels are perfectly fine. And speaking of the consistent promotion of terrorism from these types, over the past few weeks we've seen some of the consequences of that. The start of this was a person named Elias Rodriguez who randomly shot 2 Jewish people who practiced Christianity and were working at the Israeli embassy. Now, do we have any evidence that this couple was harming anyone before some terrorist decided to execute them? Or do these radicals see it fit to just randomly commit murder because someone happens to be in a particular group? What happened to due process? And I mention that term due process because recently it's become a buzzword for leftists, and the Bill of Rights has magically become important to them after all these years now that it's politically convenient for reasons that we'll get into later. But when people like Noah Samson, the king of grandstanding about audience responsibility, say stuff like, we have access to the politicians and we have access to the propagandists, it's time to escalate, it encourages people to commit violence. And of course, terrorists supporting Hassan Piker responds to this event with damage control by calling it a false flag.
I'm not Mr. False Flag at all, but like every single thing that he did in the aftermath of the shooting is so fucking crazy that it's like, you could not have fucking designed a incident like this. You could not have designed a better false flag incident like this. I'm not saying it is a false flag incident at all. I'm not saying that.
Now guys, I'm not saying that it's a false flag, but basically it's a false flag. Great argument, Hassan. Great way to get your audience to believe it's a false flag without the liability of directly saying that it's a false flag. Shortly after those Jewish people got shot, on June 1st, an Egyptian person who was living in the US illegally threw a Molotov cocktail into a crowd of people who were doing a peaceful march in support of Israeli hostages, and he injured 15 of the marchers. Speaking of illegals, and one of the biggest reasons why people voted for Trump, Let's talk about the LA riots. The mostly peaceful protests.
Demonstrations had been going on right outside the Federal Detention Center. Most of those demonstrators were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by, honking their horns. And again, they were expressing their anger about the detention of so many immigrants at the Federal Center.
Again, my bad. Fiery, but mostly peaceful. Mostly peaceful protests where people are fully masked so you can't see their faces, and they're attacking reporters.
Hey! You're fucking... I don't do anything. Get the fuck out of here. I know you fucking do. You fucking white nationalist motherfucker. How? This is our fucking land, you fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Dude, I have every right to be here. I don't give a fuck not today. I'm the fucking police. I'm telling you not to be here, motherfucker. Well, I want to be here. Well, I'm fucking telling you not to be here.
Yes, that was the reporter from before. But I love how they don't see the irony of trying to force him to leave a place that he wants to stay in, while at the same time, they're protesting under the idea that the government shouldn't be allowed to force illegals to leave a place they want to stay in. They actually do this to him again in New York City.
Hey, I can be here, sir. I know. Nope.
You think that you're welcome in this space? All these people were telling you to leave? This is the white kind of privilege. You're an evil.
These idiots never fail to step all over their morals the second they become inconvenient. Speaking of that, rioters are also looting stores that appear to be owned by Mexicans, and if you think that's ironic, it's not, because BLM did the same shit to black businesses back in 2020. This is just what they do. They're also damaging property, so they have projectiles to mostly peacefully throw stuff at cars. Obviously, I can't show the more violent stuff because YouTube, but you can have fun watching that on Twitter. Fortunately, they found this guy here who was throwing rocks at every vehicle that passed by. Not to mention that person who threw a brick from the top of a bridge and hit a cop in the head, which could have killed him if he wasn't wearing a helmet. These people are just begging for the police to use deadly force against them. And last, the mostly peaceful protesters are mobbing cars like a horde of zombies.
You might think that this is a screenshot from Grand Theft Auto 6. It's actually not. It's LA today.
Now, why are these people rioting? I'm sorry, why is there a mostly peaceful protest with buildings and cars being set on fire? Well, it's because the Trump administration decided to start enforcing the border policy, which is something that Americans have been requesting for decades. So in response, a bunch of almost peaceful people are violently rioting to obstruct deportation raids. Because of this, the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, went onto the news to tell everyone that people wouldn't be rioting if Trump simply stopped trying to enforce the U.S. law.
Well, I just have to say that if you dial back time and go to Friday, if immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you that it is peaceful now, but we do not know where and when the next raids will be. That is the concern, because people in the city have a rapid response network. If they see ICE, they go out and they protest. And so it's just a recipe for pandemonium that is completely unnecessary. Nothing was happening here. Los Angeles was peaceful before Friday.
And these mostly peaceful protests aren't just in LA. They're in multiple areas across America. And guess who decided to show his face in the safest part of the LA riots? It's Twitch's second most popular political streamer, Hassan Piker. He must be having so much fun. Look at that soy face. Hassan showed up to support terrorism like usual, help block traffic, which is a crime by the way, and to openly admit that a number of the rioters are people who watch his channel.
No wonder there's so many federal agents in my fucking chat, dude. It's like half of the protest is Hassan Abias. What's up? I've been watching you for years. Love you. Can I take a picture of you? Of course. Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you. From Pakistan.
How is he not at least partially responsible for these terrorists? He goes onto social media and spends well over a year promoting terrorism, which again, is against Twitch's and YouTube's policy. He tells people multiple times to beat up or kill those he doesn't like, as recently as a few days ago, by the way, and what a shock, people who support his values and watch his Twitch channel are out there rioting. But don't worry, because Hassan has spent most of this protest balding about how Asmongold is more famous than him.
Bro, he's out there. He's out there talking about me. Hopefully, one day we'll see the largest political commentator, Asmongold, out here in the streets. You know, for protesting, for I don't know, making.
Okay, sure. I'll go with the National Guard to arrest everybody who's standing in the highway. Yeah, I think that sounds great.
More power to you. Arrest Twitch's second most popular political streamer along with them. And look at the reality of these riots. You have foreigners illegally crossing the border and waving their flag as they assault American citizens. To me, this sounds a lot like a declaration of war. It sounds like a hostile invasion. No one loves Mexico like the people who refuse to live there, right?
You sorry sucking sons of a bitches that think that you're just gonna go and fucking arrest a bunch of protesters?
Well, the violent ones, yes. The ones setting cars on fire and throwing rocks at people? Yeah, arrest them and use force when necessary. Now, before we continue, I just want to point out yet another example where purple hair and a nose ring has accurately identified a crazy person.
They're out there doing something you're too afraid to fucking do. They're out there fighting for our freedom, and they're out there fighting for our right for free speech, cause you, all 2,000 of you fucking National Guardsmen, you brave ass fucking soldiers, you think you're gonna march in those streets and tell those people to shut the up? That is what you decided to fight for. You chose to defend us against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and you fucking failed.
Like I said, people crossing the border without permission, violently attacking and looting American citizens, and waving their country's flag sounds a lot like a foreign invasion. So by your definition, the National Guard is doing its job by defending us against foreign enemies. Actually, a huge portion of the rioters seem to be low-information dumbasses.
This was Mexico. This is our fucking turf. These motherfuckers. This was our land. All this is stolen. And what? Now we're fucking illegal here.
This is our city, and this was Mexico. You can't kick us out of the land that was ours.
I mean, that really depends on your genealogy and your perspective on history. First of all, California was purchased by America after a border dispute. Really, it was the Spanish who conquered that territory before America bought it, so I guess you have to blame them for colonizing Mexico. But then you also have to consider that the native population actually helped the Spanish overthrow their leaders because those people were pretty evil. And there was a lot of race mixing going on there, so like, you speak Spanish, right? Well, that's not the native language of the land. Spanish is actually a European language. Plus, because of the race mixing, if you have Spanish blood, then you are also part colonizer. And last, the Native Americans or the indigenous populations were not peaceful, contrary to what a lot of these people would say. They were just as evil as those who conquered them. They would torture and kill each other and have wars over territory as well. The Spanish just had better weapons. A realistic view of history kind of makes everyone look like assholes. But more importantly, this all happened like 200 years ago, and you weren't alive then, so you didn't have jack shit stolen from you. Technically, if you're trying to invade America and violently overthrow the government to make California Mexico again, then you are the colonizer. Though I have to say that nobody hates illegal aliens more than Mexicans who are legally in America.
So let me get this straight. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay, but you're waving the Mexican flag and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture.
And of course, you have a bunch of violent radicals using children as human shields. Here's a Twitter account who's in favor of the riots posting an image that says, LAPD tear gassed a baby. No, that's not what happened. What happened was that this idiot brought her child to a riot where people knew they were going to be tear gassed. You can even see protesters who brought items to defend against it.
What's the wind blower for?
That's for the fucking tear gas to blow it back at those motherfuckers. If you have a fucking blower, bring it up.
Well, she may get some protection from the tear gas, but she certainly isn't defeating any stereotypes by running around with that leaf blower. But as for the chick who brought her toddler to a riot, she deserves an investigation from the CPS. This is incredibly irresponsible behavior, and I think it's disgusting when parents bring their kids to any protest, much less a place where tons of violence is occurring. And like I said, these riots have been happening in multiple cities, with these idiots even preventing cops from doing their normal job by obstructing the police from stopping drug traffickers in Minneapolis.
Chaos erupted in South Minneapolis as federal law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, ICE, DEA, and ATF, served high-risk search warrants related to drugs and money laundering at this Mexican restaurant on East Lake Street. Hundreds of protesters gathered, some clashing with law enforcement, believing it was an ICE raid.
Personally, I think that if these people are told to back up and they continue to obstruct the police, most Americans would have no problem with the police making an example of them with an arrest and using appropriate force, which includes lethal force, when it's necessary.
Regardless of what was taking place here, the fact that, there are agents who are militarized, they deployed tear gas on community members. Whatever was happening is completely unacceptable.
They have all that combat gear because they're trying to stop a bunch of drug traffickers, you moron. You know obstructing an arrest is a crime, right? If you don't want to get tear gas, then get the hell out of the way. And after all the stuff these assholes pulled in 2020, it's time for them to start seeing some actual consequences. Stop protecting criminals.
Innocent fucking citizens are being thrown into a goddamn war zone for the color of their skin! National fucking Guard has been deployed in Los Angeles by Donald Trump to suppress peaceful protest! Peaceful fucking protest! And that's not all! They're planning aggressive ICE enforcement for 30 fucking days in LA! 30 days of terrorizing immigrant communities!
Jeez, what the hell is with these people screaming all the time? These aren't peaceful protests, you liar, and if you aren't legally in the US, then you don't have the same rights as US citizens. There's only enter the country legally or get the hell out. It's weird how most of the world operates like this, but it's only an issue when the US starts enforcing their border policies. And when I see tons of nut jobs like this crashing out on the internet multiple times a day, it's hard for me to believe how so many people thought that Trump was going to lose to Kamala Harris, who was one of the most unpopular political candidates.
Okay, so we're closing in on almost 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I've been tracking everything that's been going on across the country today. I was talking to the guy in the store, of course. He's asked me, why I was getting the champagne, and I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face, and I said, she's going to win this, right? And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now, the numbers are there. She's taking this election. And then I said,
she got mollywopped.
And he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right? And I didn't care. And I walked out with my bottle of champagne and happily walked home.
God, she looks like a miserable person. Now I get that there are many reasonable people out there who vote Democrat who voted against Trump more so because of character flaws that Trump has, or things he did that they didn't like, and not because they're mental patients. However, when you have tons of people on social media representing your party who are this deranged, and you see mainstream Democrats and Twitch streamers catering to the most mentally ill people, then you're going to see a lot of those prior supporters of the left leave your party. Now, there are a lot of people criticizing the Trump administration by saying, where's the due process for illegals? I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the exact legal limit of this, considering that stuff like Social Security cards were put into effect 150 years after the Bill of Rights was written. But from my perspective, they don't have the same rights as people who are legally residing in America, and this should be as simple as prove you have the right to be here or get deported. It's not that hard to show a passport, a visa, a green card, or proof of citizenship. There's no need to have a drawn-out trial for tens of millions of illegals who are currently in this country. I mean, certainly these mostly peaceful protesters should have no problem with people showing ID, seeing how many leftists wanted you to carry a vaccine card everywhere. But outside of that, what I've noticed from the people on the left who are critical of the deportations is that they don't really seem to be criticizing the rioters, nor will they say reasonable things like, people who throw bricks at cops' heads should spend years in prison. Maybe at best they might mention that a little violence is occurring, but only after they've already pre-framed the event as a peaceful protest. Or they bring up a small mention of the violence, however they make sure to say, but look at all the peaceful protesters. Yeah, well look at all the rioters. This is a really consistent thing that the left has done for the past 10 years, which is to ignore all the violence and the straight up terrorist acts that their side has committed. The fact that you assholes ignore every single Antifa riot, every BLM riot, college campus rioters anytime someone on the right speaks, pro-Palestine rioters, people burning Teslas, all of the looting, and now the deportation riots. There have been a shitload of riots from the left, and when people bring them up, leftists say, but what about January 6th? Oh sure, a single day compared to over a decade of rioting. Seriously, fuck you guys. We aren't even including all the vast number of threats of violence coming from the left if things don't go their way politically. Were people on the right making video after video, crossing their fingers hoping someone would assassinate Biden, and lamenting a failed attempt? No. The worst thing that the right did was chant, let's go Brandon for a year or two.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
Effectively, all the political violence is coming from the left. And you dipshits that keep defending them by saying, look at all the peaceful protesters, are the assholes.
And I know if you look at the most incendiary photos and videos of this protest, and you see some guy on the hood of a burning Waymo with a Mexican flag, you think, oh, that guy's a f***ing problem. You know what? He is. Lock that guy up. I don't care. But understand that 99% of the people, more than that, 99.9% of the people at that protest are just trying to express a very human desire to stop getting f***ed with by ICE, dude. It's crazy. Now, again, I feel like you have to say this. I don't think people should loot. I don't think people should burn cars. But understand, just really understand how small a percent that is. And you can't ignore or write off the real demands of a lot more people, because somebody in that group is going to be stupid.
Imagine telling a girl that her husband is mostly a good guy because he only beats her 1% of the time. Actually, it's worse than that, because this guy was like, hitting is wrong, I disavow that, but come on. It doesn't happen that much, and besides, the reason behind why he hit you is pretty good. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because he used a little bit of violence that one time. I'm not kidding when I say that this guy Atriak's whole video was basically that argument. I mean, there was so little focus on any of the numerous terrorist acts that were committed outside of him quickly saying that violence is bad, that I had to re-watch the video to even catch that he said the violence was bad. And he's not the only more reasonable sounding person on the left who dismissed the violence. Hank Green also made a video on this where he didn't even have the courtesy to disavow the violence. In fact, upon re-watching it to make sure, he not only minimizes the violence just like Atriak, but he appears to be encouraging it.
You do your best to be as immoral and illegal about it as possible, to make it so that many people believe that the right thing to do is to stop an ICE agent from doing what they have been told to do. So you have two people who feel that it is their obligation to do opposite things in a physical space, and so you have actual conflict and that erupt in violence. Now, people will say they could just do it non-violently, just put on suits and march through the streets. But if you think that these policies and the suspension of due process is illegal, then it makes sense that you might physically try and stop a person who thinks they are enforcing the law from breaking the law.
Okay, maybe we can discuss the right to self-defense in the case that the government is doing something illegal, but how is robbing stores self-defense? How is setting stuff on fire self-defense? How is blocking roads and impeding emergency services self-defense? How is attacking journalists self-defense? The reality is that the people who are doing these things are not engaging in self-defense, they're just criminals. And criminals should receive punishment, otherwise they will keep committing crimes.
Unfortunately, this is just how criminals act. They see windows of opportunity to pick on people, and if they feel they'll get away with it, they will take that opportunity.
Why are these people on the left so afraid to take any action against rioters? Literally all they do is run damage control for the rioters and say it's not that bad. Meanwhile, while everyone on the left is running that damage control, what's actually going on is that rioters are using peaceful protesters as human shields to hide behind as they commit crimes. And the rioters absolutely know they can hide amongst the people who are non-violent, because if you watch the videos of the riots, you can see rioters standing amongst non-violent protesters while the rioters are throwing bricks at cops trying to murder them. And the cops are hesitant to defend themselves because they can't do anything without hitting people who aren't being violent. You can see that reporter from earlier, Nick Shirley, as an innocent bystander, getting tear gassed as the cops try to stop the violent protesters. Also, let me be clear, I do not consider the shitloads of people who block roads to be peaceful protesters either.
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work? Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
Do you think it's peaceful for this man to intimidate her and tell her that she can't go to work? No, he's holding her hostage. So I really have a problem with seeing the viewpoint of the left on this, even the ones who appear to be more calm and collected, because they don't see blocking the roads as violent protesting, and they go out of their way to defend rioters. But even still, I do hear their arguments. I get that being reckless about deportations can get some legal citizens caught up in the crossfire, and we can certainly discuss if that's happening or not, because I don't want people who have the right to be here to be thrown out. However, I'm not going to open up a conversation with people who sit by and watch terrorist act after terrorist act be committed, and not only aid those terrorists by being their little damage control PR team, but oftentimes, in fact, pretty frequently, they encourage the violence.
Kind of wish I was there.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be really fucking sweet to throw the tear gas back at them.
A lot of people worry about property damage for the sake of property damage. You know? It's not like a terrifying situation at all. Television obviously feels a lot different than just like being right here.
There are very few people on the left actually making an effort to stop or mitigate the violent protesting, outside of maybe Bernie Sanders, who apparently is on the correct side of history for a second time here. Hopefully he doesn't walk it back this time. But like I said, for the most part, talk is cheap. Criminals don't care about kind words, and probably the best policy here is to fuck around and find out.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at.
Yeah, I don't really see a problem with anything he said, because the violence keeps getting worse and it goes beyond the mostly peaceful protest. As I'm recording this, Democrat Melissa Hortman and her husband just got murdered, conveniently right after she was the only Democrat who voted against medical care for illegals.
Hortman was the lone DFL lawmaker to cast a vote to cut Minnesota Care access for undocumented immigrants. It's a move she made with a heavy heart.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
It's interesting that the killer was found with a bunch of No Kings anti-Trump protest flyers in his car, and he was a former Tim Walz appointee, so the likelihood he's on the left is high. Also, because of the current evidence, I don't think anyone is denying that this was a politically motivated assassination.
Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce.
What did you mean by that? Earlier, that girl said you meant bullying, but seeing all the constant violent ideations and behaviors from the left, I'm thinking more so he was encouraging rioting and violence. And honestly, whether the assassin was a leftist or not, do you guys really want to live in a place where people now have to be afraid of getting murdered if a vote they make ends up being unpopular? All of you people who are crossing your fingers and hoping someone assassinates Trump, note that this happened to a Democrat. If they can do it to politicians that you hate, they will also do it to the ones that you like, which is why there must be a zero-tolerance policy on things like violent protesting and terrorism. Now, let's move the conversation away from the mentally ill radicals a slight bit, and let me be clear. I have my own political biases, but I love the fact that America has different political factions, because different people with different priorities will bring important problems to your attention that you weren't aware of. And to simplify, I think it's the job of the left to say, hey, look at all this bad stuff the corporations are doing, and it's the job of the right to say, hey, look at all this bad stuff the government is doing. Then we hash out our differing perspectives and learn more about the world. We are supposed to disagree and fight with each other on these issues. Neither party is supposed to win 100%, and if that does happen, it's called authoritarianism. Being able to talk out our disagreements is what makes America great, but when one side is throwing fists, there is no longer a conversation. There's just, hey, that guy just threw a brick at someone's head, he needs to be stopped, use lethal force if necessary. We don't have a society if that continues to happen, and if it does continue to happen, it will very much be a bad day when people on the opposing side stop being nice and start defending themselves. I would very much like to live in a place where that doesn't happen, so how about we stop allowing people to commit crimes? Anyway, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
Or not, it doesn't matter to me. With all the evidence that they have, the reason why it took so long is the district attorney wanted to wait and wait and wait till they made sure they could win in the courtroom.
Okay.
And I've done no body homicides before. They have more on this case than we do on most of them.
Okay. But if you have what you need, why do you keep asking me?
Because our goal is to find Gannon. Our goal is not to prosecute you. That is the district attorney's job. We're investigators. And like you've just seen, I do a poor job about half the time because I have to guess. Because as much as we tried to track you with your cars and your phones and whatever else, there are gaps.
Oh my God!
We do have, like I told you, the blood in the house. We do have, do you know about the board that was thrown in the forest? Letitia?
Oh. What? I'm sorry, sir. What?
The board that has Gannon's blood on it that was thrown in the forest.
Okay. So Alright, so what?
You got your DNA on it.
Presented with such overwhelming evidence, a suspect would usually crack under the pressure and allow themselves to be arrested. In Letitia's case, however, not only does she keep refuting everything the detective has to say, but even goes as far as accidentally giving him even more incriminating information.
The blood that you or your team allow people to be in the house.
That has no bearing on
Okay, well, if it doesn't, then okay.
It doesn't.
Okay, so
You ready to tell me the last time you saw Gannon?
maybe check one of them. Because
I bet you they can tell me the last time they saw Gannon, even though it was months before. I bet Al can tell you the last time he saw Gannon, even though he didn't know that was going to be the last time. I guarantee you he's got an image of Gannon. And you were the last one with him, Letitia.
Okay.
Now, Letitia has just agreed that she was the last person who saw Gannon. Not only this, but throughout this interview, she has also admitted to Gannon's injuries, blood locations, and motives. With all of this information that Letitia herself provided, this was less of an interrogation and more of a confession of murder. Letitia was a broken individual. She cast aside her husband and 2 children because of 2 major reasons. One, Albert's job in the National Guard made her resent him and wish she was married to someone better. 2, her extreme inferiority complex towards Gannon's biological mother, Landon Bullard. It was later found that during the candle incident, Gannon had wished for his mom to be present, which sent Letitia into a psychotic break, and she attempted to mask a murder in the form of an accidental fire. This failed attempt only added fuel to the fire, so the very next day she called in a vacation from work and spent the day brutally murdering Gannon and erasing any traces of her crimes. With these findings, there was no escape for Letitia, and 8 days after this interview, she was officially arrested for her crimes. And while being transported to a county jail, out of pure frustration and insanity, she turns to the only other option she has, becoming a fugitive.
She keeps threatening me. Stop. Well, she keeps threatening. Stop. Well, she keeps on threatening me. I have stopped. She keeps on. She got out of the streets. She keeps on. Threatening me. I will for you. She keeps threatening.
Put your arm down.
Put your arm down. Well, she keeps threatening me the whole time.
Tisha?
I will with you. I said I would.
Then give me your arm now.
Well, I said I would with you. I said I would with you. I said I would with you. I'm just asking to breathe. That's it. Just to breathe. That's all I want to do is breathe. You're hurting my arm.
My phone is jacked.
You're hurting my arm. You're hurting my arm. I just want my arm. It's hurting my arm. Just let my arm out.
It is ironic that Letitia complains about not being able to breathe, about how her arm hurts and how she's uncomfortable. Yet, when she did even worse to poor Gannon, she was filled with nothing but ecstasy and couldn't help but laugh in the face of the officers. Even more tragically, the circumstances that Gannon's body was found in would prove that his death was not instant. It was slow and painful. On March 17, 2020, 49 days after his murder, a maintenance worker found a suitcase under Escambia Bay Bridge in Pace, Florida, 1,300 miles away from the Stouch Highway. And inside was Gannon's body. Autopsies done on the body showed high levels of acetaminophen and hydrocodone. While these are generally pain medications, hydrocodone was never prescribed to Gannon. It was prescribed to his father, Albert Stouch, who kept the prescription hidden in his nightstand, the location of which only Letitia was aware of. This means he was forcibly drugged to reduce the pain of his injuries, possibly in an attempt to fuel Letitia's sick fantasies. However, this was not the end of it. A gunshot wound in his jaw meant that after Letitia had her fun, she ended his life almost immediately.
You open that.
She fit in here.
I mean, she's in there. Oh, she's in there.
7-4, my calendar.
Police department. Police department. Hi, how's it going? Are you Patricia?
No, I'm her daughter.
This is 50-year-old Carol Ray. She lives with her mother, Patricia, and her 3-year-old daughter.
Is Patricia here?
Nope, she's not here right now. She's with her sister.
Okay, I'm just asking because someone was worried they didn't know where she was at.
My son John. And him and her having a little bit of a tiff because he owes her quite a bit of money. And he's been trying to call her for 24 hours now. And I gave her the message yesterday.
This made sense to the cops. Carol's mother, Patricia, didn't want to deal with her greedy grandson and decided to move out and ignore him. Or at least that's what Carol claimed, because at this point, police are completely unaware of the horrifying secrets that lie just feet away from them inside the house. And over the course of the next few days, this simple missing persons report would turn into hands down the most gruesome and disturbing case that they had ever worked on.
And then I get a text message from Carol's mom, but it doesn't read like Carol's mom.
My grandma just texted me again.
Okay.
Sending the cops to my house again. My grandma's not at the house.
It's clear that you're not telling us the truth. Where is she at, Carol?
Following the interaction with Carol the previous night, John would call the police again, slowly becoming more concerned that something had happened to Patricia. So at 11 a.m. on January 22nd, officers would arrive at Carol's house for a second time with the intent to find a conclusive answer to John's worries.
Grandma's Patricia. Mom is Carol. Hi. Are you Carol?
Yes.
Is Patricia here?
No, she's not. She's getting her B12 shot or something like that with Dr. Positive.
It's not written down anywhere in here?
Maybe no, she writes it down with Dr. T on the old calendar.
This little girl.
This is my daughter, Allison, her granddaughter.
Hi.
Oh, okay.
Does she live here with you?
Yeah, we live
Your
together.
grandma?
Yeah.
Or your
My
mom?
mother.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's been staying over at her sister's house for a couple of days because we just got diagnosed with pneumonia and got home from the hospital. I had diverticulitis that ruptured.
Okay.
So
She's back here though, staying here primarily now?
clothes. I mean, all of her clothes and everything are here. She came by yesterday, and she was here not last night, but night before last, and she was here yesterday until about 5 p.m. and picked up her medications and a fresh change of clothes and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, the reason we're here is because your children are concerned about your grandma.
My son John, yeah, he sent you guys over last night, which I contacted my mother about, and she had a fit, and I was going to go down to the Rosewood Police Department today about it. Well, there's a little bit of a financial money issue between my mother and my oldest son John.
Okay.
And he borrows a lot of money from her and doesn't repay it. He's got a truck in the backyard she bought him, a car in the garage that she bought him that she took back because he didn't pay the insurance on it. So my mom is a very finicky woman, so she got pissy about that. And I'll call him when I goddamn ready to call him. I got things to take care of.
Right.
Okay. My mom
How old's
told
your
me-
mom?
I said she's 69 this year.
Based on Carol's story, Patricia is back living at her house and is currently at the doctor's office getting a monthly shot. Everything lines up. Patricia temporarily stopped communicating with John due to a financial dispute. However, John, being a caring grandchild, got worried something more sinister was at play. It seems like it was just miscommunication. However, officers decide to get all of Patricia's information and check her room just to ensure nothing's off.
All right.
Where's her room here?
And it's right back here.
Can we just look at it?
Yeah, if you want to see where her clothes are and everything. You want to show them where Grandma
wanna show us?
I'm sorry, baby. You want to show them where Grandma B's room is? Her room is the last one on the right. Allison's is the first one on the left here. Yep, we would let Natalie sleep in this bedroom since Grandma B spent the night right here so that she can have her stuff on. All my mom's stuff.
And all her clothes are in there?
All my mom's stuff is right there. Fresh clothes that she just washed.
Okay. All right. We're good. We get the call, you know, and then there's one side of the story and then there's the other. So if he's got everyone worked out, like he might call, someone else might call, and you don't want us showing up here a million times. So we want to just hear in person, hey, you're fine. That's all we need to do. Okay?
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
The officers have one simple task to wrap this case up. Simply confirm Patricia is okay with their own eyes. To do this, Officer Pelt decides to call the doctor's office where Patricia is apparently being treated. However, the call doesn't go as planned.
Hi, this is Casey from Woods Cardiology. How can I help you?
Hi, this is Officer Pelt with the Roseville Police Department. I'm just calling because I believe you have a patient in your office by the name of Patricia Bennett. And she has some family members that are concerned about her and are trying to just make sure she's there.
Nope. She's not here. They might have got the date mixed up. Her appointment is, February the 13th. But I'm gonna go ahead and ask a couple of my colleagues just to make sure, like, did she come here? Or anything like that.
Is she planning on coming there?
Nope. She's not supposed to be in today. Nobody's seen, like, she hasn't come in yet or anything like that, but we can watch out and contact you.
Suddenly, things are starting to misalign. John insists that he thinks Patricia is missing, and now the only person living with her is lying about her current location. Something is definitely not adding up, so officers decide to speak to John again to further investigate the strange situation.
I just don't get why my grandma would make a Facebook post saying she's at home. You guys show up and she's not there.
And that was literally
that's
2 minutes ago. As soon as you pulled away, she texted my dad that.
There may be other circumstances that we're not aware of, or the family's not aware of.
I'm hoping I just have a pissed off.
So what your expectation is that this woman here who's your mother, is hiding your grandmother from you?
Yeah.
For what reason?
For months.
She's trying to take the money from her that you think is entitled to you?
No.
Okay, I don't know. Your grandmother, what?
Our grandma raised us.
Raised you, okay. Okay.
So, generally, yes, I'm really concerned.
Our mom's been in and out of our
where
life.
she's at.
Right, okay.
You know, our mom was never in our life.
And I just don't want my grandma to be passed away and she's collecting, or hopefully she's just hiding her because she's sick. And my grandma always wants to know. I'd rather have a pissed off grandma than a missing or a dead.
Well, if she's dead, then, I mean, if she's got a body hiding somewhere or is done away with her, I mean, and then trying to collect Social Security or whatever she receives, I mean, that takes some effort.
My grandma has fraudulent
police reports on her.
Yeah, police reports on her.
When was it done?
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago? Okay. And what happened to those charges?
I think my grandma decided to not pursue them.
Okay.
Fully. To have, like, to lock her up because that's her daughter, but...
I'm not trying to get her in trouble, but why would you keep lying? But so that's why I'm thinking that nothing's adding up. My grandma just texted me again.
Okay.
And doing cops to my house again. My grandma's not at the house.
John's claims are frankly terrifying. Not only does he suspect his mother of stealing from Patricia and using her money, but he thinks she may have even murdered her. Accusing your own mother of committing such a terrible act is something officers need to take seriously. However, there's no evidence to suggest that Carol had even harmed Patricia, let alone killed her, so these claims feel drastic, unfounded, and premature. Officer Jerebick seems to have felt these claims were over the top as well, so he would lead John to the station to file a missing persons report. Additionally, he wants to learn about John's history with Carol, and why he thinks she may have killed Patricia. Alongside John would be Carol's ex-husband TJ, who claimed to have important information that could help solve the case.
We're just gonna record you and I. All right. So when did you physically last see your grandmother eye to eye?
Probably after Halloween, beginning of November, before I went to North Carolina. I came back from North Carolina Thanksgiving, so didn't see her. Went there on Christmas, didn't see her. I've been calling her and asking her to call me. I need to hear your voice, or have my mom have you call me. I need to hear your voice, or I'm gonna do a welfare check. I threatened that a couple weeks ago. All right. Yesterday, I just cracked and finally called it in.
And now you haven't had any voice contact with her since Thanksgiving?
Somebody's been texting me off her phone or off her Facebook. I know it's not her just because the words they use. It's not how my grandma talks.
When was the last time you saw Carol?
Last time I saw Carol, period.
Not Carol, Patricia.
Oh, okay. I'm like every time I drop my daughter.
yeah. We're like Patricia. Contact with Patricia, yes.
Yeah, it was around Halloween time. I did receive one text message the other day stating that she was sorry for holding up Carol. Carol and my daughter were supposed to hang out because it was my birthday this weekend. game around 6 o'clock. I started texting her. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? You know, it's my birthday. We're supposed to be celebrating it and blah, blah, blah.
You, Carol, and Allison are supposed to be celebrating on Sunday, your birthday.
Right, and then I get a text message from Carol's mom, but it doesn't read like Carol's mom, but it says, sorry, I'm holding her up, signing over the cars and giving her title to house and insurance stuff so she can get that stuff fined Monday. It gets kind of, when Carol types, a lot of times it comes up kind of misspelled. It's because she doesn't wear glasses and stuff like that.
The only contact that you've had with her was from
a random message, and she said that she was with my aunt. So I did some research. I went there today and spoke with my aunt. She hasn't spoken with my grandma since 2015.
Remember how Carol said that Patricia moved over to live at her sister's house?
Is Patricia here? No, she's not here right now. She's with her sister.
John visited that house, and Patricia's sister claimed that she hasn't seen Patricia in over 5 years.
And she was messaging me today while we were there with the cops, saying that she was home, and messaging my dad that she was home when we know she wasn't there because the cops were there. My dad screenshotted them all and sent me those messages.
Okay, can you email those to me?
One thing I do know, and I mean, in this type of situation, I would hope it's more true than it is the other, is I've known Carol since I've been 20. I mean, like, boldface, like, you can show her, like, here's a picture of you, and I have. Here's a picture of you doing this, and da-da. It's not me. I mean, so she's always been a chronic liar, especially when she's off her meds. Because she does take lots of medicine, longer than I think even we were together. I mean, I'm sure you can get her list of medicines that she was taking, but I guess she lost her therapist, so she has not had medicine for the last couple months. And when that happens, things get kind of wonky with her.
Any other conversations?
I've been calling the house phone, social media, off of like Messenger, calling her that way, texting her, nothing. And then on 12th of January, my mom texted me off her phone saying, Grandma B is sleeping, getting over pneumonia here. I was like, have her call me. I need to hear her voice. She never does this. She always calls me. And there was no response.
These interviews help clarify why John would go as far as saying Carol had killed Patricia. She's been lying to them for months. Nobody's been able to see or speak to Patricia, and she happens to have a decent surplus of cash that the family has been pulling from. And remember, on top of all of that, Carol lied to police about Patricia's whereabouts at the doctor's office. The evidence makes it abundantly clear that Carol's not telling the truth and trying to hide something, and it's likely something horrifying. So police try and visit her house a third and final time, but this time, they aren't leaving without answers.
Hello.
Hi again. Hi. Is she here now? No, she's up at the Liver Cancer Institute getting her B12 shot. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be gripey with you, but...
Where is she at?
We're just getting conflicting information that's lying.
The doctor's office that you told us she went to, she's not there.
With cardiovascular is where she goes. Dr. Tapazzo is who treats her leukocytic white blood cell cancer. Not the white blood cell cancer.
Right. You said she was at Woods Cardiovascular.
Because she has a lot of
What's your daughter's name?
It's Addison.
Addison.
Allison.
Yeah, so just getting conflicting information from.
That's a nice balloon.
Well, it's because I see it.
Thank you.
I can't keep all of it. Which cardiovascular is where she's been treated?
Yeah.
So
Is where she's been treated for a long time with Dr.
And how did she get there? And how did she get there?
Her sister drives her, or I drive her.
You didn't drive her today, so today.
And sometimes her neighbor across the street.
How did she get there today, though?
I believe her sister.
Her sister.
Yes.
The sister that lives in Warren.
Yes.
Okay. But you don't have your sister's number.
I don't talk with my aunt or my uncle.
Well, last night,
Okay.
She stayed over there.
When the officer came here, she did not speak directly to her.
No, she spoke to me.
Okay.
Because she was at my aunt. She was here right before last.
Is that your phone?
She was here. Yes, that's the one I just gave you.
Listen, we just want to know where this lady
I
is.
understand, but you guys are upsetting my daughter and you're upsetting me.
She doesn't look upset.
That's
Okay?
fine.
Because you don't hear what she says when she leaves. I just went through a really bad domestic violence divorce situation and CPS up my butt for the past 2
We're
terms
not
this
here,
year.
but that's not what we're here for. We're here to find out if your mom's okay. We got a bunch of people who are concerned about her, and no one seems to know where she
my
is.
son's father, my son, and his brother, which he's got his brother on high alert now, which his brother's wife was just here yesterday morning while my mom was laying on the couch to pick up $200 to do her tabs for the car, for my son's car.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show you a picture of my daughter and my mom
She's
sitting on the
sending
couch.
messages telling everyone she's here.
She's currently here.
No, she's coming back here because she just called.
She just called. Why don't you call her right now? While we're here.
Yeah. And she's on her way, then shortly we'll be able to resolve this.
Can you turn this back on for her?
Yeah.
You can see
That's
that
fine.
I'm actually. Oh.
You want to put on speakerphone? Will she answer you?
I don't know. She went up there to get her B12 shot.
Notice the drastic change in Carol's demeanor when she was directly asked to call Patricia. She's no longer deflecting, but rather soft-spoken and deliberate with her choice of words. Pay attention to Carol's body language as she's asked more of these direct questions.
I know she's supposed to be calling John because John's the one that started this like 3-4 nights ago, threatening to call if she didn't talk to him. Yeah, if she didn't talk to him by noon the next day. I had her call before she went to Sam's Club. It was
Is
like
it possible then that
11:45, 11:50.
Is it possible then that she could just speak with John? Directly.
Yeah.
Well, then why hasn't she?
Like face to face, so that they're at ease.
Well, she's not answering.
We're sending messages to
Do
each
you
other.
want to call her again?
We were just concerned.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She was talking, you were talking, phone was ringing. What did you say?
Why can't your mother directly speak to John? Not through a message, not through text.
She can.
FaceTime.
I don't have nothing to do with her and John, though.
Well, that's why we're here.
I'm getting stuck in the middle of it.
Yes, and so are we.
So are we, and we have to figure. We have
Try and
to
get
see
some-
her. You want to just try to call her again? What's the doctor's office she's at?
Which part are you? No, the Weber Cancer Center is behind Macomb Hospital.
Coincidentally, Officer Peltz would call this doctor's office, and yet again, Patricia was nowhere to be found. Officer Pelt knew something was off and decided to call in Detective Jerebex to question Carol officially and confront her about her growing list of lies.
Grayson doesn't live here.
Okay.
If this does go downhill and she starts making any admissions, let's stop, get her to the station. We'll do a search warrant, whatever we have to do for the house. But if she starts,
want to do a consent to search first, so we can gather anything else first. Does she have consent?
yeah, let's see. Well, let's start out with that.
She's already let me go through the house.
Did you go through the garage?
I have not been through the
car,
garage.
just check the cars.
No, I just went through the house. This could go south quickly, so she's at her breaking.
Okay.
This is Detective Gervix.
Excuse me.
Hi. So we're gonna, I mean, if you don't mind, we'll get consent from you to search the house to see if there's anything that would lead us to think of who she may have went with to help you out, figure out where she went.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't tell you otherwise, right? You're under the impression she was supposed to be with her sister.
Yes.
That's what she told you.
Yeah.
Who lives in the house?
I do. My mom and this little girl over.
Has she done this in the past?
My mom doesn't tell anybody what she does.
And your son seemed pretty concerned that she was in there.
My son John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she tells you that she's with your sister, her sister.
That's got me.
It's concerning, correct?
That's got me worried. I'm not worried, but
She's
aggravated.
not answering her phone calls. The people that she says she's with, she's not.
Mm-hmm. That's got me
concerning.
aggravated. Because
I won't feel right if I leave this house without looking for anything that can point us in the right direction.
Mhm.
I want to do my job properly and make sure that, and I guarantee when she walks back in this door and she finds out that I searched for her stuff to help try to find her, she's probably going to be okay with it because that's what most people would be okay with, correct?
I'll open up her bedroom door so you can see her stuff or whatever. I'll unlock the car for you so you can look at it and whatever, or whatever you want to do. I don't want to sign anything and get in trouble.
Okay.
There's all of her things.
Okay. When your mom left, did she take like a toothbrush, a bag of clothes, like she was spending the night anywhere?
Well, she has a personal thing in her coat and boots.
Yeah, does she normally sleep over people's house without,
Well, she does. She did this time, and she has in the past. puzzles
So
right
she does have
she's doing.
obviously medical issues.
Oh yeah, she's got medical issues for a while. She takes
What I'm
medication.
saying is that that's also when we're looking at somebody being missing, it's concerning because anything can happen. She's had COPD. She's had a stroke already. We understand she's
out there.
You don't seem very concerned. I'm more concerned for your mom than you are. Like,
I am concerned. I've talked to her and seen her in the past 24, 48 hours. And
but now
I'm frazzled because she's lied to me about talking to my kid. I don't know why she would do that.
So, I mean, we're concerned because your mom left, but she didn't even pack a bag to go, you know.
For an overnight, she probably won't. Even when she came out to my trailer that I was remodeling up on Hall Road.
So for like an overnight, you don't pack like just a toothbrush, a change of clothes, underwear?
Obviously, something's going on here. We're fairly certain something's going on. We need to start fresh, and we need to tell you. We need you to tell us exactly what happened.
your story's not adding up.
Your story doesn't
Okay,
add
go
up.
through it very quickly.
You're extremely nervous.
Well, yeah, I had the police here last night and today. Yeah.
Carol, obviously, something probably happened to your mother, right? You know something that you're not telling us. That's apparent to us. We're trained investigators. We know when something's not right and something isn't right. You have many people outside of you that are concerned about your mother's whereabouts. Where is she at, Carol?
I don't know, because she honestly said is what she told me when she left here.
The detectives haven't cracked Carol yet, but they're extremely close. If they get verbal consent to search the property, they may be able to find clues to further solve the case or get Carol to reveal more information.
Now listen to me. You're lying a lot, okay? I'm now at a point where I don't believe anything you're saying, okay? I've now confirmed another part of your story that's wrong. So you need to come clean now. Let me know where your mother's at. If she's in this house or in your garage, that she passed away from natural causes or whatever it is, and you didn't want to do anything because maybe you needed some extra money for Social Security or whatever it is, we can get through it. But right now, what you're doing is you're hiding somebody who's possibly dead, okay?
Absolutely not.
Carol, she hasn't been in this house in 2 months, 3 months.
She has. She's got dirty clothes in the laundry room. She's got clean clothes hanging right there.
What does that have to do with anything? That's neither here nor there.
I mean,
What's going on? What's going on in your life
her hair
that we have
brushes
to
in
be?
the bathroom.
Yeah, that's odd because she left for the night. Wouldn't she want to brush her hair in the morning?
Carol was caught lying through her teeth multiple times. However, despite all of that, detectives couldn't get the consent to search her property. This leaves them in a tough situation. It's clear Carol is lying and hiding Patricia's whereabouts, but with no solid evidence, they can't be certain of Carol's involvement in the disappearance. But luckily, the police had a trick in mind, involving Carol's current boyfriend, Ricky. Since Ricky has been living in the house with Carol, he has the authority to give consent to areas of mutual access. In this situation, that allows officers to search the majority of the property despite Carol's objection to the search. As long as Ricky doesn't have any involvement in Patricia's disappearance, he would have no reason to object to a search of the property.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Help yourself.
Not too bad. Are you Ricky?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Step back here. Some of these detectives want to talk with you.
Detectives?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, they'll talk with you.
When was the last time you saw Patricia? Like, physically saw her in person?
Physically saw her. It's probably been about a month.
Would you mind coming to the station with us? So we can just sit there and talk?
What's this about?
Well, we want to find Patricia, but we're getting...
She's not at her sister's house?
No. How long have you...
on me? She's lied on me?
Who's lied on you?
Carol.
Carol?
She's cheated on me, yeah. Because she's the one that told me that she was at her sister's house.
Thankfully, it seems as though Ricky has no idea of the crimes. More importantly, he would agree to a search of the property, granting them access to most of the home. If they discover anything serious, they'll need a search warrant to investigate it further, but a cursory look around the property is now fully legal. They begin by searching her backyard and cars.
Who's with her?
Help.
Huh?
Help.
Who's with her?
Oh, Help's with her. Huh? Just be married.
After coming up empty in the backyard, they check the last remaining spot. Carol's garage.
Boyfriend's here.
Just want to look up here.
Hey. You open that?
Should fit in here.
I mean,
Ooh, buddy.
oh, all right. Bloody towels. There's in here. She's in there.
She's in the house.
Oh, she's in there.
Open it up. Let's see.
Well,
hold on. I don't know.
Well, hold on.
Don't
I don't know. I'm not just. Nah. I don't know. He's looking. He's looking at it. Nah, nothing. I think I opened up that grave bin and it's full of bloody towels. And it stinks like a dead body.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
Yeah, you have a search warrant.
Huh? For what?
If it's in there, Bodecker wants us.
For what?
If
We're
there's
searching for the body.
Yes, if there's one.
Bloody pillow in here. Ready?
Yeah, there's a body.
Yep.
Where?
Let me see the light from the far corner.
Okay.
Close back.
Sure.
I'll go pick the thing up there.
Somebody said he was back here. But he needs to. That's a boyfriend. He just showed up. We've been looking for him. Hi, Lieutenant. I just opened up a big plastic storage bin and it smelled really bad. It was full of blood and towels, and you can see a body in there. So it's kind of where we're at.
All right. We hook her, bring her in. What about
Everybody was saying, the brothers, we need to find out what they were telling officers, because they were saying he was like in the back there yesterday. He was coming and going. Somebody might have seen.
There
Yeah.
is still moisture on the top of that. I open it and there's still moisture on the top, so that's not been in there long.
And they were somebody we got to talk to over there. They said, yeah, you know, the door was open yesterday and he was coming and going, and then all of a sudden his car was gone.
This too? Whose boyfriend is it?
This is the
mom, the daughter.
I say we bring him in.
Yeah.
Not only had they found Patricia's deceased body in the storage bin, but the body still wasn't dry, meaning the murder couldn't have been more than 2 months ago as John originally suspected. This terrifying scene couldn't have made the truth more clear. Carol Ray had killed her mother and had been covering it up for weeks. However, she may not have been the only one involved in this. Ricky had been staying at the house for months now, and the cops believe he had to have known about the murder if he'd been living beside it the entire time. With this in mind, police placed Carol under arrest immediately and detained Ricky too.
Carol, go ahead and stand up for me. Your Uncle James got your back, okay? Think you know why we're going, but I suggest you think about what you need to tell us, okay?
I might have my knife on me over there.
Following Carol and Ricky's arrest, both would sit in a jail cell while they waited for detectives to arrive at the station. Multiple hours later, they would bring Carol in for her first interrogation.
Obviously, Carol, we're here to talk to you about what's going on here. The further we let this keep rolling, the further it's going to get without you being able to, shed some light on this, okay?
The goal for this interrogation is not to get Carol to confess, because she obviously did it, but to determine a motive and figure out if Ricky was also involved.
If I say something and it comes out wrong or something like that, you want it because it was an accident. I'm telling you something. Explain it.
You explain the truth, and it will come out as the truth.
I don't believe so.
I can't give you advice, but if you want to tell your story, you can tell it how it is. I don't have to ask you any questions. If you want to get it out, you can do that. At the same time, once I tell you your rights, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk.
That night, we were sleeping between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning, and I heard loud banging. My daughter and I were sleeping, and I was in the back, and my mom was sleeping on the couch. Anyway, there was a big crash, and it sounded like someone was breaking through the glass window or breaking down the door in the living room. I grabbed my gun. I went running down the hallway and had my finger on the trigger like an idiot. But I went, not running, but walking fast down the hallway. And I hit with my right foot to the front of that hallway. And I raised my hand like this, and it went off. Doing things when I shook her shoulder, and then I heard gurgling. And I screamed, "Mom!" and pulled her on the floor. And I noticed that her tears were coming out of her mouth. But I thought somebody had broken the window or something like that. There was a huge, loud crash.
If a suspect is highly emotional when recalling an event, they will often have trouble remembering certain details in that moment. You'll often notice the suspect unable to form full sentences and stuttering in their speech. But Carol shows none of this. While crying, she manages to form a detailed timeline of how she killed Patricia. This implies that her story of events may be inaccurate, and the murder wasn't a mistake like she claims. Now that they've heard it, however, the detectives would be able to search for evidence that explicitly countered this story, and that didn't take them long at all. The very next day, they brought Carol back out of her cell and into the interrogation room again. Throughout this interview, see if you can spot the information that the detectives found specifically for this conversation, and watch how they use it to break her story apart.
Going off of what you said yesterday, I know you said you're walking down the hallway, rather quickly after you heard a noise, get the gun in your hand, the Ruger. You're walking the owls right there, you tripped. The gun, you use your finger on the trigger, and the gun went off, correct? You saw your mom bleeding, and then, oh, I think you said you saw me out of her mom.
So right away, I went on, and it freaked me out, and I dropped it, and I screamed out, and I was like, I don't know what's better. Shoulders.
All right.
It was just like, it was just gurgling sound. It was something strictly not in my mind.
The cops are clearly trying to come across as understanding and compassionate to Carol, but if their main goal was to make her feel comfortable, they wouldn't have sat her in the corner of the room and positioned themselves between her and the door. They want to eventually make her feel so cornered and pressured that she lets go of the truth. So for now, this nice guy demeanor is a complete act for the detective to build rapport, as he tries to get her to talk as much as possible.
So after that happened, obviously you found your mom in the container in the garage. Now, obviously my concern is kind of understand how she got there, but you gotta explain to me, because to me it seems with your back and everything that you can do this by yourself. So can you walk me through? I understand, obviously, panic, everything's not 10, you're freaking out, and it's your mother you love, right? And so, baby's waking up, okay, kind of walk me through the minutes after all that happened. Let me ask you this, was Ricky there that night? I don't, you don't have to give them again what they okay.
Remember, an important part of this interrogation was to figure out if Carol's boyfriend Ricky was also involved to any extent. At the moment, Carol is claiming that he wasn't on the scene at all, as they'd recently had a number of arguments. The cops would have a chance to interview him later on, but for now, there's one question regarding him that they just can't seem to get their heads around.
So, okay, so Allison was sleeping with you. Ricky wasn't there. Fence was here's the baby waking up. What happened next? Did you leave your mom on the couch? Did you move her somewhere else? I can understand that. Very hard to get understand. Obviously, we're operating under panic, right? I mean, I can picture myself in a situation, panic, you got your daughter there. Where did you move her from the house to where first? We found her in the garage. Was she moved anywhere before the garage? Directly in the garage? Okay, so this is where I'm concerned with Ricky. Your mom, and I know this is a hard detail to get through, but picking up your mom, there's no way you're picking up. How did you do that by yourself? You're saying Ricky's not there. Did Ricky come over and help you? You haven't told me you told me. Are you afraid to tell us? Are you afraid of Ricky? You don't have to be afraid, I promise. You're scared, aren't you?
Carol remained completely silent for almost 30 seconds after she was asked this question. The cops are right to assume that she's scared, but it might not be for the reasons they think. She could be scared of Ricky and the consequences of implicating him in the crime, but she could also be terrified of the situation she's in. She's going to jail for a very long time. There's no escaping that anymore, and that's a scary reality for her. Whatever the reason is, though, the cops are still doing their best to give her a moral excuse or justification for what she did, so she'll talk a little more. She panicked, and anyone would have done the same. The best thing she can do to make things right is to tell them exactly what happened.
I mean, people panic. And people make mistakes. Yeah, I mean, you know what happens most often than fleeing, when you flee from an accident, it happens all the time when you panic, right? Let's say someone gets in a car accident, they smash into a car and they take off, and that person ends up dying. They hear them on the news, and then the lives keep going, and they're like, shit, I should have stayed, but I didn't, right? That's a mistake that you made. I should have, but I didn't. I don't want to revisit it, but I have to. How did you get the code out of the house? A cheetah passed all that stuff in the garage. Is it possible somebody else can move it for you?
The cops are really focusing on Carol's inability to physically move Patricia to the garage, as, to them, it was a clear sign that somebody else had to be involved. But at this point, they're not getting anywhere. Unfortunately, this isn't conclusive enough evidence to implicate anyone else, and it's not getting Carol to talk. But that's okay, because the detectives have one piece of evidence that they've been saving for this very moment, that could prove without a doubt that everything Carol said so far has been a total lie.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is they obviously did an autopsy on your mom. And they found some puncture wounds in her neck. 3 puncture wounds. Not an old scar, but actual fresh puncture wounds in her neck. Stab her with anything after the fact? I'm not saying you were killing her, but you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, I don't know, maybe her out from this if she was suffering or anything like that. Because here's what I don't want to get caught up. Is that once they tell us exactly how deep they were, if it was a cause of death or contributed to cause of death, it could be really bad. We have to get everything out here now. If you did try to do something, visit these plants that don't cause wounds or anything like that. Just in case. So I'm trying to think right now, what could have possibly caused those puncture wounds in her neck?
I don't know if she had tucked in or anything like that. I didn't hear anything.
Preliminary, you look like my friend's fresh. Well, like fresh, but function at the end of the night.
A gun accidentally going off and killing someone. Unlikely, but believable. But 2 fresh, deep knife wounds that Carol hasn't mentioned a single time? It's going to be extremely hard to explain this one away. Not only does this imply the murder was completely intentional, but the fact that Carol hasn't mentioned it means that she knew that was the case and wanted to try to cover that part up.
And again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, don't want you to implicate anybody that's not implicated. That'll get you in more trouble. That'll get you in more trouble. But as we sit and investigate and continue to investigate in the days and weeks, months to come, more things are going to come out. I'm pretty certain of it. And Rick know eventually what happened. Did Rick know your mom was in that? Say anything to you that needs you to believe that you know? Did you actually mean to say it? Well, I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, do you understand where, when these things can be answered, that's kind of odd. Can I ask you this? Let's go ahead and move on. Did you freak out after you shot her and she was still breathing? And you wanted to make sure at this point, no good for her to be like this?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't know.
Did maybe you kind of look and see, like, it sounds terrible, but like, is she alive? Okay.
At this point, the interrogation has been going on for over an hour, and Carol clearly doesn't intend to deviate from her story despite all the new evidence. The detectives are still no closer to obtaining a confession or any information about Ricky from her, so they figure they've got no choice but to speak to the man himself. So later that day, they bring Ricky in for an interview of his own and attempt to get the truth out of him, whatever it may be.
Do you have any idea what's going on?
No, I don't.
You have nothing?
Somebody at the house said something about Patty is not at her sister's house where Carol was telling me that she's at.
When was the last time you physically seen Patty? You guys call her Patricia?
Yeah, Patty, Patricia, and then we call her Patty. I physically seen her about, I think it was like a month and a half ago. It was before Thanksgiving.
How often do you stay at the house during time this?
Every day. I've been there except for, it was like the 8th and 9th going home to my mom's house.
So you've been staying there every day?
Yeah.
Already, Ricky is being much more open and giving much better answers to all of the detective's questions. He also seems exceedingly calm and as though he's just trying to help the officers out. Right now, he definitely isn't coming across as a murder accomplice or blackmailer, but there's still plenty of time for the cops to catch him out.
What about Carol? Does she work? Does she have a job? Does she go anywhere? What does she do with most of her days?
Most of her days, keeping Allison busy, cleaning the house, doing what she can. But she needs some major surgeries.
Any financial issues with you or Carol or Patty or anything? Nothing.
Carol took care of the bills.
You know where she has the money to? She's not working.
She said she had a joint bank account with her mom.
Carol been acting strange or suspicious to you or different?
She's bipolar, so I always said that she was the world's greatest actress, because I can't tell if she's being sincere or not. That's the difference in bipolar. They're both liars, and I've been caught a lot of her webs people. I've been telling her she's been feeling more distant.
Ricky, I mean, I don't really necessarily know you, obviously, but you seem pretty nervous to me. What's going on? Is there something you're nervous about?
I'm not nervous about anything.
Where did you sleep?
Mostly in the bedroom.
Carol's bedroom? Where did,
sometimes I'm
your house?
Mostly in her bedroom.
Let me ask you about the garage. You ever go in the garage?
Yeah.
Never?
Hardly ever.
When's the last time you think you were in the garage or at McFrender's?
I think we went to go look for a screwdriver. Jeez, I don't know. I think it was early December. It's been a couple weeks.
Did she have you go look for it, or did you go?
No, she came with me.
Compared to Carol's interrogation, this one seems extremely laid back and relaxed. It feels as though there's a big chance Ricky genuinely just doesn't know what's going on. However, the cops do pick up on the fact that he's a little nervous. He's finding it hard to look the detectives in the eyes, and he seems a little soft-spoken. So, to clear things up fully, they decide to put the pressure on big time to see if he breaks.
Ricky, we got a problem. We got a real big problem. I think you know what it is, and I think you need to be honest and upfront with us. So we're going to give you the opportunity now. Tell us what really happened.
That's what happened.
What happened?
What I told you.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the little details we've been asking you. I'm talking about with Patty.
Patty, she's been at her sister's house as far as I know.
We know Patty's deceased. Patty's got a gunshot wound to her, and she was found in a tote in that garage.
So you have to tell us everything you know so you don't implicate yourself anymore than history.
Because here's the thing, Ricky. There's investigative tools we have. We're going to find out exactly when she died, where you were when she died, which I'm betting you were in that house, and you know exactly what happened.
No, we don't. I never had a problem with Patty.
I'm not saying you had a problem with her. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you know something.
I don't know anything. I swear. You don't know this woman, Carol. She has fucked with my head. She has cheated on me behind my back without me knowing about it. The only way I found out about it was tripping over stuff, finding it on accident. Her showing me something on her phone, and then all of a sudden, a love you too baby pops up on her phone.
Why are you with her?
We went through counseling this year, tried to make things work because I love her, I love the house, and so she's like, oh, I really do.
This is not the reaction a guilty person would give in this position. He's never defensive and he never gets annoyed. He just tries to explain things exactly as they are. He's not upset that he's been caught. It feels like he's upset that he'd ever be accused of this. He also gave a few pieces of information that could be backed up by the detectives, such as the fact that Carol had been cheating on him and that they'd been in therapy. In just 5 minutes, detectives went from assuming him to be the main accomplice to completely discounting him as a suspect. Carol, however, completely stayed in the spotlight, and it was eventually assumed that she acted alone and with intent in Patricia's murder. It was determined that Carol killed Patricia all the way back in November and hid her body for roughly 2 months before John had caught on to her act. Although Carol never verbally confessed to the crimes, she was charged with first-degree murder, felony use of a firearm, and larceny of $20,000 or more. She faces life in prison. Ricky was let go with no charges.
Now the libtards are seething on a way we've never seen seething of this magnitude, actually. Seething and coping that could break the space-time continuum apart, all right? Dude, we got leftoids saying, man, Woke 1 was crazy. Man, and they were all, like, kneeling and stuff with masks, and it's like, bro, Woke 2 is a million times worse. You are all terrorists. Anyway, importantly to note, there was a church that was just burnt down yesterday. The South Bushwick Church in New York City burned down, 173 years old. Cause not known. It was Muslim. Just trying to help you understand here, obviously. Cause not known why the church got burnt down. It was Muslims. Now, of course, a few weeks apart in New York City, an 138-year-old Astoria church burns, and then an 173-year-old Bushwick church burns. Both causes of both fires not known. Muslims. In fact, a lot of people are starting to notice that, hey, wait a second, as soon as Muslims started immigrating to Japan, all the Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples were burning down. Causes not known, just like all the churches that are getting burnt down in Europe, causes also not known. You see, this also aligns very interestingly with the synagogue
synagogue in Michigan that was blown up, cause known, that was a Muslim, all right? Or all the fire bombings of synagogues in England, for example. Also, causes completely unknown. Do not want to say that they're terrorism at this time. It's really interesting if you think about it for just a second, actually. Wow, it's funny.
Hey,
I don't know.
the bathroom real quick.
Maybe other people will put the dots together. Hey, don't you being Islamophobic? You know, I'd stop being Islamophobic and stop burning our shit down. All right, let's be honest with ourselves for a second here. Now, Muslim mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, is pissing off the left, and by the left I mean like the not terrorist. So you have to understand the way the left operates, okay? So the left is a very interesting conundrum of people. All right, so you got like the center left, which is retarded atheist losers. All right, and then you got the far left. See, the far left, terrorists. All right, now I'm really glad that I get aligned that very nicely. So the communists, they fall into the far left camp, sort of the jihadis and the fucking foreigners that want to rape your country to death. All right, now the center left, those are the enablers. Those are the retards that enable the far left to rape us to death, which is not as bad, I would argue, but still pretty fucking horrible. So Hutch, this is a moderate leftist. All right, all I want are pragmatic and progressive politicians, but why are they all fucking terrorists?
But Chevalier has come under fire for past comments that she's made, calling to abolish the police, criticizing the military, calling President Obama evil, calling President Biden a rapist and a war criminal. She used profane language when describing other top Democrats. She criticized interracial relationships, and she even took aim at Senator Bernie Sanders for, quote, liberal Zionism. But Chevalier...
Yeah, and that's basically what we're dealing with. It's like, why is it such a tall order? Like, moderate leftists are just like, hey, we just want to elect people that don't think America is evil and shit. And then it's like, no, actually, you can't do that. I thought you liked Zohran, and now you don't endorse a politician that he endorses? You can't say anything bad, or Zohran or your community will eat you alive? And by the way, America is evil. This is the actual leftist. All right, just Zohran endorsed a full-on lunatic. I don't know what to tell you. Even the libtards are like, oh, man, I really fucking hate that like all these leftists are terrorists and shit. Right, Avila Chevalier, in a series of messages, called Joe Biden a rapist and war criminal during the 2020 presidential election, referred to the U.S. as a fucking disgrace. Talked about wiping her dirty hands on the American flag. Described interracial relationships involving white females as fetishizing ugly colonizer women. All right, so again, the left, the anti-racist party, endorsed this fucking bitch. All right, I just want you to understand what you're dealing with. All right, so the left is eating each other because it turns out everyone on the far left are terrorists that hate America and should be deported. Anyway, the point that the really interesting thing is, all right, Knicks fans are just, I guess, emptying out garbage. Now, Zohran Mamdani's New York City, ladies and gentlemen, the third worldification of America. That is actually just the goal of the far left. The Japanese would harpoon this fat whale for behavior, and the Japanese people would be based. Now, Elizabeth Warren keeps making believe that she is actually fighting for a good cause here. As you can see, this got 5 million views, 6,000 likes, 17 million replies. It didn't go well. If Elon Musk paid my ultra-millionaire tax, we could fully cover the community college in America. Now, there are many things to notice here. First, obviously, she is a multi-millionaire. She is worth $67 million on a salary of $285K a year. How did that happen? Probably fraud or insider trading or something like that. That is the obvious position. But the really, really interesting take is, I actually would rather have SpaceX. All right, imagine if we had no SpaceX and Tesla and just more community college graduates. Wow, what a deal. Again, just to understand, more taxes. A lot of people live in the retarded worldview that, dude, there's so much to unpack here. And I'll rip it apart for you little by little. Actually, infinity taxing rich people is immoral because stealing is bad. Even if you vote for stealing their money, stealing is still immoral. That's one. Two, it wouldn't even help shit, right? Because it's like, oh, the government will get another $1 billion. That'll fucking help. No, it won't. You think that'll help jack shit? Bro, it'll just make another Elizabeth Warren worth $67 million. How do you think all these people became rich? It's all fraud. Where's our tax money actually going? We have no fucking idea. I have no idea where my tax dollars are going. So why on earth would I trust you ever? Right? I think that the private sector is worth infinitely more than the public sector. You people are all scammers, liars, and cheats. Cheats. You have no reason whatsoever to use our money that you are stealing. All right, but you voted to steal it, so therefore it's fine. That you are stealing our money to use that for your own fucking machinations. Right? I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all. All right, now understand the major drama going on in left-wing politics lately is not the Iran deal, because unfortunately they have nothing to say about that. The left has been saying that we are getting into World War III right now over Iran for the last, 2 months. So, unfortunately, they can't use that anymore. All right, they can't say Trump is killing Americans. They can't say that Trump is killing Iranians. They really have nothing. So they've decided to pivot. Their new pivot is they really want to talk about the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool in Washington, D.C. That's right, because Donald Trump used $14 million to renovate a pool in our nation, which makes sense that our nation shouldn't look like absolute shit. I understand that the left wants the third worldification of America, but if the left has an issue with us not complying with that, they should fucking move to Somalia. All right, we don't need to turn America into Somalia too. America's pretty awesome, actually. I would rather $14 million go to renovate the actual reflecting pool than give illegal aliens health care. And it's not even remotely close. The options aren't even remotely the same. I want our country to actually look fucking awesome. I don't want our country to be a little cesspool of retards. Sorry, that's just my opinion. You can disagree with it all you want, but that would just make you a retard. It's a free country. So, everyone, this is the big scandal, as you can see. Paint was seen peeling to the floor of the Lincoln Memorial Pool. Wow. It is a scam. Donald Trump is scamming us by cleaning the reflecting pool. Now, this has been wall-to-wall coverage on every single left-wing media outlet. This is why no one gives a fuck about left-wing media anymore. Because this has been the #1 story in every left-wing media outlet for the last week. All right? Not even exaggerating. I've been trying to find interesting shit to cover. I do. I actually do a fantastic job. I'm really good at what I do. But this is why I get more viewers than CBS is. Because CBS is fucking retarded. This is their story. This is the story. Trump is currently beefing with the Prime Minister of Italy. Trump is winning a war against Iran. Fauci is going to jail. More on that in 2 minutes. Gavin Newsom is getting investigated for fraud. Obama is getting investigated for treason. There is so much happening in America right now, and yet the main story on every single media outlet is how paint is peeling from the floor of the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Now, the reflecting pool has got more coverage than Somalian daycare fraud, Laken Riley's murder, Biden's mental health decline combined. This is true, but also, you know what else you could add to that? The rape of 250,000 British girl by Muslim migrants. That's pretty weird how they decided not to include that. Now, the thing is, this has become the main story, and they've been bringing everyone in to discuss the reflecting pool.
I believe that once he invested in the beautification of that specific park, what we did not see was a takeover that was moving green within 36 to 48 hours after the investment. Because we just didn't.
We believe for 1.6 billion years, algae has existed in stagnant pools on planet Earth, but not during the Obama administration.
What I'm saying is that it was treated, which is what Donald Trump could have done before he invested millions of American taxpayer dollars when Americans
now they care about American taxpayer dollars
for their families.
I learned something tonight. I didn't realize that President Obama had cured algae when for 1.6 billion years algae had been undefeated. So I've learned something this evening. Look, here's the deal.
Can I say that I think part of it was that the president was coming out, and he has talked about these projects so much. I mean, he's not just this isn't just other people bringing up what he's doing in Washington with the ballroom.
And this is the main story. This is the main story on every left-wing media outlet. It's actually shocking. It's insane. I'll be honest. It's wild. It's wildly retarded. Meanwhile, the left directly talks about what their actual strategy is in regards to if they win in 2028. God help us all.
Well, since we're there, what about the Electoral College?
I think we need to look at that too.
They want to disband the Electoral College so they can win popular votes by importing infinite retards. You understand? If you understand, that sounds pretty fascist-y. Trump is a fascist because he won an election. Anyway, we need to stop the Electoral College. We need to change things.
I think we need to look at that too. Yes. Yes, I do.
Because it's clear to me, and this is me, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, that we are being governed by a minority in this country. Because most people...
Donald Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College, by the way.
In this country aren't as...
You, gay retard, are talking to a person that lost both the popular vote and the Electoral College. I'm just trying to help.
Extreme is the folks who are, they're not MAGA, they're not extreme right. They believe that a woman should have a right to choose.
He thinks MAGA is right. Oh my God, this is homosexual.
that's not actually what we're living under right now. They believe that there should be a separation of church and state, where you can worship whatever God you want, or you don't have to at all. And it seems like we're moving into, because of this minority, into Christian nationalism, and into having the majority of Americans' freedoms diminished or restricted. Because
your freedoms will be diminished. You can only marry women now. Sorry, that's how it happens. That's what's gonna happen. Well, that's life, I guess. What can we do?
we're being governed by the minority.
Cry about it, actually. I think you should cry about it. For all of human history, every single, even remotely successful nation was governed by the minority. The idea of every retard having an opinion is insane, and everyone knows that, but they realize that retards are so much easier to manipulate. So all they need to do is manipulate a million retards, buy them off, import them, whatever you can do, remove the Electoral College, stack the Supreme Court, and steal the country. That's the left's goal. It's always been the left's goal. They are power-hungry, bloodthirsty monsters.
Yes, and I think that there is some real shaking up that we have to do of the rules and the structure.
And to shake up the rules to make sure that we have infinite leftist gay sex happening at all times. That's the goal, infinite gay.
And
does that get rid of the Electoral College?
I think that should be a discussion that we should have. I don't think we should eliminate that.
Yeah, interesting. So basically, they're trying to rig elections. They're saying it straight up, but they're trying to do it legally, right? Do you understand? Do you understand how the left operates? I'll tell you a Nazi in a fascist. They will literally try to remove our democratic republic. Thanks, Leftoid. Very cool. Now, the biggest story that none of the actual mainstream media is talking about, so thank God we have the internet, people like me and other retards that are actually willing to put our necks on the chopping block and talk about this. Tulsi Gabbard is done. She's leaving the Department of National Intelligence, and that's because her husband has cancer. And honestly, we're praying for him and his recovery. We're wishing him the best. But she decided on the last day to drop a 5-minute long nuke. Nuke, releasing all sorts of private information. I didn't see this yet, but apparently it's insane. This got 350,000 likes and 37.7 million views. All right, just understand, Elon Musk retweeted it. All right, everyone's on top of it. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games with the time fuzz, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games, complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. 5 minutes going playing Call of Dragons on free. A high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now, back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
You mean to tell me that the thing that everyone was getting banned on every social media platform for because they were called conspiracy theories, they were actually all right? What? Well, my God, but another dollar into the conspiracy theorists were right again jar. Oh boy.
Work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic.
Interesting. So it was all fraud. This is crazy, by the way. This is absolute insanity. The fact COVID was fake. It was manufactured by retarded globalist retards. And let me remind you, Jeffrey Epstein talking about doing pandemic simulations and quarantine practicing. Let me just remind you that he also funded leftists.
Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S.
Bro is getting prosecuted. And then we execute him, please? That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for, like, government-sanctioned legal execution. I think that'd be sick.
Funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when, under oath, he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins, once again revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth.
Interesting.
Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence
I feel like it's important to note I am one of those critics that was silenced. I got a strike on my channel, a video removed for talking about how COVID was a scam. And back in the day, basically I was warned by YouTube that if I would make more COVID videos, that would deplatform me completely. I'm just letting you know I am one of those. I'm one of those.
Community enabled him to assume three key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded.
Evidence not only that they started it, evidence that they lied about it, covered it up.
Using taxpayer dollars. All of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions.
Damn, bro.
Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying.
At the very least, can you put him in jail for lying under oath? At the very least.
That he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID.
Bro, we have open and shut evidence that that's not true. Oh my god. And you know, leftists are still going to be like, no, actually, COVID was totally not manufactured. It was totally not, it was totally honest. Alright, you fell for the biggest fucking psyop of our lifetime, alright? And you fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. You fucked our world, alright? You are why inflation is so shit right now. Alright, and we're just supposed to make believe that that's not a thing.
Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not. The message was clear: go along or be punished. The senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans, and countless people around the world.
Yup, that shit
Now,
sucks.
after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized self-serving leaders, like Dr. Fauci, covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Oh, shit. Dude, what a fucking nuke. And it's like, it's insane. I feel like every week we get a nuclear lore drop like this. And the left just keeps chugging along. It's totalitarian, retarded machine. You know, they're gonna new Obama library that looks like fucking retard land. That's right. But didn't you want America to look like the third world?
Well, anyway, the Obama Center ceremony begins with a stolen land acknowledgement.
Yeah, bro, this shit sucks. This shit
Oh my God,
absolutely
let me
sucks.
see this.
We'd also like to take a moment to recognize the original inhabitants of the land upon which we are gathered
So
today.
give it back. No, give it back. I'm tired of all this talking and this not doing. Give it back. Just give the land back.
We honor the Anishinaabe, the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, the
I'd respect them more. I'd respect them more if they'd be like, we wanted to dunk on the losers that we took their land from, those betas, their fucking primitive ass shit. Obviously, that would be very rude and distasteful.
Ottawa and the Potawatomi Nation.
I don't even know what to say. As a Cherokee Indian, half of it, the stolen land shit's so obnoxious, it's like pandering. Remember what happened to your ancestors?
Bro, the Native Americans stole land from each other. All land is stolen from someone. This shit's insane. This is absolute insanity. It's such a joke. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's actually like, do you really need to remind them that they lost all their shit every fucking time that you're gonna build a building? This is in memory of whenever you guys got your ass beat. Here's the new Walmart. Hillary Clinton cracks up after Michelle Obama. What is this here?
You were doing the people's work, rescuing our economy, expanding healthcare, ending a war, ordering the Bin Laden raid, winning a peace prize. Keeping us safe.
Cackling. They all know that they fucking suck at people.
The cackling, you can hear it, it's so loud. Can you imagine that? She's nuts, dude. Bizarre moment as Biden is left on stage at the Obama Center asking for his granddaughter.
This guy.
My granddaughter.
Contractors fight for payment.
I was excited because of the fact of who Obama is and him.
I was very excited to design a building that looked like the fucking Squidward's house from Bikini Bottom. I thought it looked very African.
Wife, and they come from Chicago.
There are at least 10 small contractors who are threatened financially because they so far have not been paid or have not been paid the full amount for the work they have done on this project. Once this building is built and open to the public, they say they don't want to be forgotten about.
I'm sure they're going to get paid, guys. I'm sure they're going to get paid for sure. This is the vision. This is why it looks the way it does.
There's been some debate among Chicagoans about the shape of the building.
That's fine. It reads gray, big building, husky, tall, and I think that takes some getting used to.
It needs to stand out. It
They
needs
all fucking hate it because it looks like it came out of fucking voodoo land.
to be iconic. The form comes from, if you imagine, if people were to take four hands and put them together, you sort of have the bend of your hand makes the bend of the tower shape.
Yeah, that's cope. That's cope as fuck. It looks like Squidward's house from Bikini Bottom.
The architects, Todd Williams and Billy Chin, worked to make the president's dream come to life.
There were even times where he would send a little sketch with something for us to look at.
Now, this building stands as a reminder.
Bro, that shit sucks, dude. Oh my God, could you imagine needing to be reminded of Obama every day? You see this ugly ass fucking shit every single day. Bro, you're gonna tell me it doesn't look like bikini bottoms? Like, bro, it looks like this. It looks like that. Bro, seriously. It looks worse. It looks worse than Squidward's house. Squidward's house has a personality. Brother, this sucks, dude. Oh my God.
Of Chicago's very own first.
This looks fucking retarded. The fuck is this? You know what this looks like? It's like one of these, bro. Really, like it's like a fucking Star Fox building. That's why they have it that way. Is he really wanted it that way. I don't know why. Looks like shit, but you know, I guess that's the way it goes.
It wanted to remind him of Africa. Listen, man, he was like, yes, I want to be reminded of Africa. So we're gonna take the ugliest fucking building of all time, and we're going to just plop it in the middle of the city because leftism is cancer.
Viral news bloopers and reporting fails come in many forms. There's getting the names wrong.
Something wrong, we too low.
The embarrassing expletive slip
that led to Chris Wood's death. The fuck is that?
Today I'll be presenting you all with a wavy
WebServe special report as we take a look back at some of the greatest viral news blunders to ever hit the internet. Explaining the truly bizarre circumstances that led up to them and the often serious consequences for the reporter involved in their creation. Let's begin.
Now, this story was going viral. We gotta talk about some good old-fashioned morons absolutely destroying their entire reputation because they were too woke. They were too woke. They went woke, they went broke, you know, the classic tale. So this is the actress of Supergirl trying to destroy her entire movie that's coming out. It's pretty awesome when they do that by being woke, dude. It's incredible that they haven't learned their lesson. The Hollywood people, they're still in a bubble. They think we're still tolerating this. They have lost their way.
Discussion online about Taurus queerness in the comics. Was that something that you explored when you were preparing for the role?
It wasn't, but in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions. I don't know. I think what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around men.
Alright, so part one of her response, again, this whole exchange in 30 seconds, her response is like 15 seconds, right? Part one of her response, men bad.
I love it. If anything.
Part two, love bad.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't really love her. I don't know.
It's great.
She probably go both ways. Part three, gay stuff. Right, at least we've narrowed down the amount of gender that exists. Two, colossal W. LGBT doesn't want to tell you that the B implies there's no such thing, that there are only two genders, but obviously we don't want to get into moral lacks of logic on the left. So numbers tanked. All the pre-sale numbers went really badly, so they decided to bring out the trump card, the actual final nuke on the advertising budget. That's right. They've released Feet. That's right, absolutely miserable numbers coming out of DC right now, so they decided to unleash Feet. Maybe they'll get the foot fetishists interested in what's going on. Pretty good stuff, all in all, I'd love to see it. Now apparently, this woman over here, star Supergirl, she's even worse than Rachel Ziegler. Apparently she's going out there doing this whole thing. Obviously Hollywood is still trying to push their garbage agenda of anti-natalism and stuff. Just remember the three tenets that she stated, all in one sentence. Men bad, love bad, bisexual, okay? Understand, they just don't want people to have children. It's actually crazy. You know, it really is what? You know, they don't want you to get married, they don't want you to have no man. Girl off around, they are literally fucking stuck in their dead spiral of woke, and they cannot escape. They cannot escape its clawing, ripping demise. The CB Watson video on this lock-in, boys and girls. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm going to play games at the time fudge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by using simple tasks while already on your phone. Plays games, complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment.
life. I've been enjoying playing Call of Dragons on free. A high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $260 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now back to the chaos. Every individual sign-up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
Alpha, who I'm going to call Millie in this video, although I'm not sure how many times YouTube will let me say the word cock without having an issue.
Well, I just make a video talking about Muslims raping girls all over England. Yeah. I thought that's one why YouTube had problems.
The actress who is playing Supergirl in the new Supergirl and has been doing her own press junket for this film, given that it is soon to hit cinemas. If it matters, and I'm not sure if it does, Supergirl is a DCU movie adapted from the 2022 comic Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And it follows a girl called Kara, who is an alien, who is sent on a journey of revenge and justice and brings her dog along, I don't know. She briefly appeared in the last Superman movie and added absolutely nothing to the story, so that's fun. Some 35-year-old millennial woman wrote this scene. Just worth noting that Supergirl, as a comic series, has been around since the late 50s. This matters, but we'll come back to it a little later. So, during her press interviews, Millie has made a series of comments about this film that not only have people raising
Let's go, dude. I love when these people do it. It's like it's insane. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves from like trying to inject their bullshit everywhere. Right, in honor of Pride Month, let me remind you that all of society, throughout all of human history, people thought that gay sex was disgusting. And they were right. It is. I'm sorry, what do you want me to say? The entire world sign off to make you believe that shit isn't gross. Yeah, it's fucking gross. Okay, it is. It is. I'm not calling for Sharia law or anything, but like, we have to be honest about it. There is a reason why 20% of people that have anal sex end up shitting their pants uncontrollably all the time. It's almost like the human body was not designed for that shit.
Feel very racially included. It's how it may be during this recent interview, for example, the journalist says that Millie's character Kara is a queer icon and asks her why she thinks so.
Queer icon! That's right, because obviously women notoriously fucking suck unless they're gay. That's what they're trying to say.
Many LGBT fans see themselves in this character. Millie, who honestly seems to be quite drunk here, answers that she's played other roles with potentially queer storylines, and she's honored that people think of her this way. Yes, unfortunately,
listen, if someone says you're gay, I don't say I'm honored if they think of it. And no one else does either. There's a reason why the left is still using gay as an insult.
This is one of those answers. Over the years, and many fans have embraced Supergirl as a queer icon. What do you think is about care that inspires that kind of connection?
It means you're ugly. If they're calling you a queer icon, it means you are not attractive to members of the opposite sex. I'm just gonna hit you with the truth, dude. If they say you look like a queer icon, it means you gotta do something about your face. Just one promo away from being absolutely fucking retarded.
In a few characters that might have a potential queer through I have many queer friends. So honestly, I'm honest. I wanted it. But am I wrong? She seems kind of drunk here. Girl is acting like she's down